Welcome to the Mike and Matt show.
Oh, we're just going in like that.
I was waiting. Where's my music? I don't have a This is bullshit. There's my music.
There it is.
To avoid copyright, from now on, I'm starting the show with chopsticks.
Just terrible, like poor man's Guitar Hero sort of thing.
It's chopsticks, and it's the only song that isn't copyrighted in the world. If you do YouTube, they're gonna not monetize anything you put up that has anything in there.
Can you play chopsticks on a legit piano?
No, I can't.
Me either.
No, I don't even know how to do chopsticks. It's a Mike and Matt show. Sorry for that horrible introduction.
That was great. I mean, come on.
We
the
do
hype.
We do all this show prep, Matt. We were speaking about how we labor over the Mike and Matt show for hours and hours.
And yet here we are, playing chopsticks still as the intro.
And I ruined it with that after my hours. Yeah, I told Matt, I was like, that's why I like the show. It's like, it's easy.
Yeah, I mean, here we are.
Piece of cake, man.
How are you?
I mean, I guess if we were doing like 5 days a week, we'd have to put some work into it.
Yeah, we'd put a little more effort in there.
But hey, why? Well, I mean, why? When it just comes natural, buddy.
It's true. I mean, look, there's been some radio personalities I've known that just literally roll in at showtime and roll out right after the show and don't think about it for the rest of the day.
It's true.
And just move on with their life. So it's kind of cool.
I mean, he was a natural.
So let me ask you a question.
Please do, Matt. Please do.
Is it your birthday today?
Oh, I don't. I'm not a big it's my birthday guy, but yes, it is my birthday.
Happy birthday.
Well, thank you.
I wasn't sure.
And what better present than you come on over here to do the Matt and Mike show?
I was not. Well, I wasn't sure if it was or not because again, you didn't it's not like an announcement or anything, and even on my Facebook, it doesn't say it's your birthday today, so I don't really know, and I don't know how you like birthdays or don't like birthdays, and
I'm fine with birthdays. I'm not a big I'm not it's my birthday week or it's my birthday when I'm Donna's like, you want me to get I'll go deliver for you today because it's your birthday. I was like, no, you just stay home.
So nothing changed today. You did everything the same exact way,
completely the same way,
and. God, I feel terrible because I was going to get you a gift, right? But then I was running late, so
I was running late too, so that's fine.
But if I was going to get you a gift, it would have been lotto tickets because to me that's like the best gift. Like when somebody gives you lotto tickets, it's like, oh,
thanks. Yeah.
I've got a real shot here. And then
I mean, it's good, yeah, and you never win. Nobody ever wins with these birthday or these gift lottos. And if you did, you'd lead to the breakup of your friendship.
Oh, because they'd want half, or they'd be like, "Oh, I bought you that ticket."
Yeah, I bought you that ticket, man. How? Yeah, congratulations. Yeah, thanks. And give them nothing.
I mean, it would be weird if you won $1 million on a scratcher I gave you. I mean, I wouldn't come back at you. But would I like break me off a little piece?
Little finder's fee there.
Yeah,
you think so? See, how much? Okay, so you buy me for my birthday.
Yeah.
Today you come over.
Let's say it's a $20 ticket. That's what my intention would be.
A scratch off or a
scratcher.
Okay. Yeah, I kind of thought you would, but.
I told you I was running late.
So you get the scratcher, and it's like $1 million scratcher. I'm like, holy crap! It's $1 million scratcher. How much? How much am I going to give you, and how much are you going to come up with your number in your mind?
Okay. Well, immediately you're getting taxed on it. Right.
Yes.
So it's not even like I could ask for a quarter of it because you're getting taxed.
It's probably you get
$750,
$750. Okay.
Yeah, let's call it $750.
$750. Okay, so I got $750. How much am I going to give the guy who got me the scratch off?
It's a good question. I would like $100,000. I think that would be nice.
Oh, okay.
Is that a little much?
I was thinking like
a little stiff.
I was thinking a 50 spot.
Well, and again, this is where the negotiations start. I'll get my attorney involved. We know how well that worked out last time.
So you're going to give me 100 G's? Were you going to give me 100 G's?
No, you would get the ticket.
No, I'm saying what if and then I want to know how much you would give me if I gave you the ticket.
What would you want?
You want $1 million.
What would you expect? What's fair in your world?
See, I would think I wouldn't be expecting a lot. Like you say, 700,000. That's not that ain't retirement money anymore. That's
That's just not having to work as hard money.
I wouldn't expect a big chunk of it, But a 10 or a 20, G's would be be great. 25 G's would be greatly appreciated. See, I would be like, dang, I wouldn't be like, that cheap motherfucker didn't give me 100. Man, you give somebody a lotto ticket,
it's theirs.
It's theirs. And if they're gracious and they thank you and give you, unless it's $50,
it's true.
You got it. That's it. That's the deal, right?
I did win the lotto. Do you remember?
I can't remember.
Okay, so it was obviously a long time
The
ago.
lotto?
The lotto. Now, I didn't win the all 6 numbers, but I won 5 out of 6 numbers. And I had all these tickets hanging around in my car, and they were just in my glove box or whatever. So one day I was checking them on the air. Commercial break. I don't know if you remember this.
I vaguely remember it.
So I'm checking them. I'm going, huh. All right. Well, this one looks kind of legit. Like, this is weird. Did I just win $12 million? Like, that'd be pretty cool. Like, all right.
Yeah.
So I call up in the break. I call up Tosh and I go, hey, can you? Am I insane here? Because I don't want to say something.
I mean, I'd have like 3 people check it out because I'd be like,
yeah,
I don't want to be stupid and go, I think I got 12 million. No,
it was
12 million, jackass.
Yeah, it was weird. So but I did end up getting 5 of 6 numbers. Now, if I would have gotten all 6 numbers, it would have gotten me 12 million. Instead, I got 19,000, which is such a huge discrepancy.
Such a huge deal
between the 5 and 6. And then you go to cash in the lotto ticket, and they take taxes right there before they even cut you a check. Like you bring in the ticket, and first, let me tell you, these lotto it was shifty looking. There was some characters outside, and you're going, are they just waiting? For people to walk in who they think.
Is that like the lotto payout office?
Yes.
I mean, why wouldn't you as a crooked? Well, I'm going to hang out at the lotto payout office today.
Yeah,
there's going to be 20 people coming in there. Did you come out with a check?
Yes, you come out with a check. So but you go in with the ticket, right? And they ask you driver's license and Social Security, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then you sit there for about 25 minutes, and you got other degenerates in the office because you can go there and buy tickets too. So there's just people just scratching them off, and they think they're going to have better luck because they're buying them from the lotto office, right? Like, this is. And so there's those degenerates. And then, about 20 minutes later, they cut you a check with the taxes already taken out, and you walk away.
So, what'd you walk out with?
I think it was just around 16,000 after it was all said and done.
That's not a bad payday, though.
I mean, it wasn't 12 million. Like, that's the thing I kept thinking about. If it just had one more number, like just one more number,
it almost ruins it.
It did spoil it.
I only won 19,000.
Yeah, and
I can't retire now.
Yeah, and there's no big check. It's just a regular check.
Regular old check.
With taxes taken out.
I mean, at that point in your life, $16K was probably pretty good, right?
It was all right. I mean, I'm not. I know it sounds snobby to say.
It's okay.
It was a nice surprise, but again, I can't shake the 12 million.
12 million. 12 million is
It would have been.
You're retired.
Things would have been different.
You're done, man. Yeah, a lot different.
Oh, God,
12 million.
I would have packed my bags that day and said, see ya. And I said, Mike, you got my number. You call me. We'll keep in touch.
Yeah.
I probably thinking about it, I probably would have given you something out of that. I think so.
You would have, of the 12 million?
Of the 12 million.
I wouldn't expect it.
I know you wouldn't have, but I think I would have probably gotten you.
You sound like our old boss. If I won a lotto, I would give everybody here $1 million.
Well, I wouldn't have given you $1 million, but I would have given you something. Maybe like pay off your car or something like that.
Appreciate that.
But then if you do that for one person, then everybody comes out of the woodwork.
You got to go into hiding, basically.
Oh my God!
Because just think about people dinging you for tickets when you're in the radio business. How about people dinging you when you got $12 million? Hey, brother.
Yeah.
I'm down on my luck, man. Come on, buddy.
But then you have to explain,
buddy.
Well, look, it wasn't really 12 million. I got taxed on it. It's only 9 million. And they go, yeah, but you got $9 million. And honestly, I feel like I could have retired off of that easily. But if you win $1 million jackpot, there's no way. You'd have to. It's hard pressed to retire off of that these days.
I'm trying to think with the like the housing. When mortgages are through the roof, rents through the roof. This, especially in Florida. Florida, it's not going to stop because people keep moving there.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you get by when you retire, man? When you retire and you planned on this, but you didn't plan on take 10% of what you made, and that's gone just from inflation.
Yes.
You know, so it's got to be scary if you're getting ready to retire. And you're like, oh wow, I didn't know everything was going to cost 10 times what it cost 2 years ago.
It really does. I don't know if it keeps you up. It worries me. Like I get worried about finances and retirements and all this stuff because nobody ever taught me anything about financial literacy. There was never anything, and there was never, gosh, how do I say it? There was never any guidance of going, hey, you should probably set up a 401k out of, you're getting paid. Nobody ever told you anything. Right? I mean, you probably did. You were smarter than that. You had your wife that was, I would imagine you guys set yourselves up.
We had, like, eventually we're like, I guess we get a 401k, I think it's, we better do it now because we don't want to be destitute when we're old. So yeah, we got that gimmick.
Nobody told me that. So I started very late in that regard, right?
Yeah.
Except for the 401k at the very beginning of when I started getting paid in radio with the other company, and they had profit sharing. I remember one year they gave me a check and they're like, "Hey, this is profit sharing." I'm like, "Whoa, what's this?" And that quickly went away.
Yeah,
that doesn't exist anymore.
Profit sharing.
But I watched Dave Ramsey videos all the time and just listen to people mess up in life, and I'm going, okay, how do I avoid this?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like I just go, all right, what do I need for retirement? They always go, 15% down and all the baby steps. So I do try to abide by it. But man, nobody told me anything about retirement.
You got to figure it out yourself. I mean, because you think, as a young person, you're like, well, when I get old, hopefully I've got, a couple $100,000 saved for my retirement. It's like, you got to have like nowadays everybody lives till they're 80.
Yes.
So you're going to have 20 years of rent, clothing, food, insurance, blah, 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 blah.
I think the latest thing I read was the average person feels comfortable retiring if they have $3 million. Now, it used to be $1 million.
Yeah.
Right? Then it was 1.5. Now the new number is like $3 million. That's the magic number where somebody goes, all right, I feel like I don't have to work anymore if I've got that.
But is that even, like, if you're, say you're a plumber. I don't know how much plumbers make. Maybe they're making $75,000, $80,000 a year.
Okay.
And you work for 20 years, does that put you $3 million in the IRA?
No,
I don't think it does.
Because you're only putting on, you're maxing out typically your 401k with 15% of your income, right? So 15%, and then the theory is it would double every 7 years if I'm thinking back to the Dave Ramsey solutions correctly. But even at that point, if it's doubling every 7 years, you're still going to be behind the 8 ball when it's all said and done. Like, you're not getting a $3 million.
It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. See, you got Social Security. Knock on wood. You got Social Security. You can live on that,
dude.
$300 or $400 a week for the rest of your life.
And then they tax you on it, right?
I don't know.
I think they tax you on
Are
it.
you sure?
Yeah. I'm not sure.
I'm not sure either.
I'm not positive.
But I certainly could see it. It wouldn't surprise me at all.
Yeah, you wouldn't put it past them.
Yeah, like, give us more of that money. Because you didn't pay taxes on it. You came right out of your check. So that was never, the income tax was never paid on the money you paid to Social Security.
So then you got to get taxed on it somewhere, right?
Fucking shit. I never even thought of that.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
I'm not sure.
It just seems like such a dick move. I mean, usually they try to soften their dick moves. And by the way, like your IRA, I think you have to pay tax on it.
Yes.
But that's the deal. But
now you can do a Roth, and I think the Roth you can do. You can get pre-tax or whatever. You can get the taxes taken out ahead of time. So whenever you decide to withdraw from it, it's yours, right? Like you're getting that amount. But as far as your just regular 401k, you got to pay taxes on that when you take it out. I'm just so confused by the way they try to screw you at every turn when you try to save money or try to, and the government's, everybody's got their hands out.
It's like it should be the opposite. The government should be wanting its populace to have a wonderfully well-funded retirement. But they don't give a shit.
And they say they want you to.
They say they do, but they don't.
And even going back to the stupid lotto, I know that, look, if the guy wins $1 billion jackpot, I know that $1 billion is an excessive amount of money for one winner, but look, the guy should get the $1 billion. You shouldn't have to pay taxes on that winning. I just don't see, like, let that be the one that gets omitted from the system.
They're not going to get that. Well, that's $300 million, buddy.
And they didn't do a thing for it.
Yeah.
Nothing. They had no part of it. Zero.
Then they can't wait. See, you could have done stuff with that money. They're just flush it down the toilet. Thanks for the $300 million.
They're giving it to Ukraine.
I got some in my pocket, some in Ukraine, and the rest I'm just flushing. How you like that?
Yeah. And for what? They had nothing to do with it. But yeah, I don't know.
Well, what are we getting into?
I'm still hoping to win the lotto one day.
Dave Ramsey. You speak of Dave Ramsey. I remember he was on whatever station opposite of Ned when Ned did afternoons on 98.7.
Okay.
And I knew he was a financial guy and he had no rating, but I declared war on Dave Ramsey.
Why?
Just because he had billboards.
Radio wars.
Because he had billboards up, and I would call him the most horrible. Because he's a finance, so there's like nothing bad you can say about the financial guy. He's just an old guy telling you how to. And I was just calling him all kind of names, and every day I would just go off on Dave Ramsey.
On Dave Ramsey? You had an axe to grind with.
I had an axe to grind with Dave. It's content.
That's pretty funny. I mean,
I go off on Drew Garabo too a lot too.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
I play the not Boys to Men. It's Nasa's As We Want to Be. Two Live Crew.
Two Live Crew. Okay.
What's the name of the Pussy Caper?
I don't know that one.
You know.
I know Two.
Bubba's deal.
Okay, all right, yeah.
So I would play that, and I would talk about Drew Garabo for 5 minutes. And I would steal the old Bubba style too. I would just sit there and I'd say something that I might sit there for 15 seconds.
Brilliant.
Like he would do.
Oh my God.
And then we weren't on that station anymore.
Gee, I wonder why. Garabo I like Garabo. I really do. I used to see him at Publix a few times when we lived close to one another, and we'd chat and say hello and stuff like that. And then we texted a few times since then, but not much. I know he went through his cancer thing, which I'm glad he got through that, right?
Yeah.
Because that's terrible. I mean, there's only probably one person I wish, maybe two people I wish that on, and Garabo's not one of them.
Anal cancer would be good to wish on someone, I think.
Why? Is that a brutal one?
It's just also embarrassing because everywhere you go, you go, I have anal cancer.
you gotta say the A word
Everybody's thinking. I think I tweeted at Drew Garabo. He said something about he's always on the Twitter. He's one of those guys.
He's quick.
He's on the Twitter. No, he's going. Every day he's like, and it's great to be alive as a survivor. For the rest of his life, he's like Mr. Survivor. It's like if I get cancer and survive, I'm like, all right, I'm going to go on with my life, and I'm never going to mention it again. So I said something sarcastic. I made a joke, something about his can. He was like, cancer, right? It's not a joking man. I was like, my dad died of dementia. I still joke about dementia, buddy.
It's probably a little sensitive of a topic. I mean, you get cancer, you go through chemotherapy, you go through all this stuff to get good, and then you're happy that life is, shining its sunlight down on you.
Of course you are.
So you're just spreading the gospel. And there you are. There you are. Coming in and telling him he's a dick because he's happy to be alive. Come on.
I just made a joke. Just made a little joke about it.
Well, God, hopefully you never get anal cancer, my friend.
Hopefully not, because everybody thinks the first thing is like, I must have a lot of anal sex.
That's true.
Farrah Fawcett got anal cancer. Why'd you get anal cancer? What?
Yeah,
what?
The only thought running was like, oh, so she likes anal. That's cool. Like, that was it. You're right.
Guess I kind of, but maybe I won't, do that anal I was planning on tonight.
Well, what's the cancer stats are like 2 out of 4 people in the next 10 years or something like that. That's what it's going to be up to of the chances of somebody getting cancer. It's pretty crazy. It's pretty extreme.
I think it's the food we eat. Just eating poison. Just eat. With corporations don't care, and they're just poisoning the populace. It's slowly poisoning the populace.
It's true. I was, even drinking out of plastic bottles now. Like, I'm trying not to do that because of all the leaching of plastics and all the stuff that comes out of it. But it's difficult because that's just way stuff's bottled, right? It's easiest, convenient, cheapest
I guess
way.
you could drink Perrier.
Ew.
Perrier every day.
If you got an extra lotto ticket to burn,
Drink some, I don't even want to know how much a Perrier is right now. Used to be able to get like water for 89 cents for 12 ounces a bottle. I bet it's $2 or $3 now.
even this lovely sparkling water that we're drinking now in our little mojitos, it's I don't know what's in there. I have no idea what's in there. It could be terrible for us.
Probably is, but it tastes like aspartame to me.
Aspartame. You're probably right.
The delicious taste of cancer.
Well, happy birthday. Back to your birthday.
Thank you. You know, my best birthday present was Saturday when the Colorado Buffaloes got humiliated
Oh,
by the Oregon Ducks. Humiliated.
I was loving it. And I was thinking of you the whole time. But I did love the fact that they got I'm glad it wasn't close. Like, it would have been worse if it was close. I'm glad it was a blowout.
That's what I was looking for.
Yeah, I knew you were.
I normally don't like blowouts either. You know, I turn the game off. It's a blowout. But I was like, every touchdown, I was like, yeah, all right, shove it up there, yeah.
And the word is now that all the coaches are sort of in cahoots because they all are sort of anti-Dion, or not all, but a few of them are going, hey, let's all work together and figure out how to crush this guy. He's getting a little too big for his britches. Let's all just get in cahoots and we'll share each other's playbooks and scouting reports and see what he's been up to.
I think so.
And then crush
the team effort. And, you know, it's understandable because a lot of it is probably just business. When you think what they're thinking is, okay, so if you're a big superstar with a name, you can go to a school and just recruit, and people are like, yeah, I want to play for Dion because he's prime time, he's superstar, and you can get the best athletes in the country and take a program, you know, maybe not, you know, I mean, he may not end up doing that great this year, but you can certainly take it. They were 1-11 last year. And he elevated it times 10 immediately because he brought in all these studs who wanted to play for Dion. The coaches are like, no, we don't want a bunch of guys like Dion coming in the league.
Yes.
It takes us years to build a program.
Like, I haven't been able to get Lil Wayne to do the intro to my game yet, right? Like, I mean,
there you go.
Master P's on the sidelines, Lil Wayne's doing intros. Like, you've got this whole other allure around
Who
it.
wouldn't want to play there?
It's,
you know,
it's exciting if you're a college kid.
College kid. I can't remember what decade it was, but when Pete Carroll was at USC, you know, he would have Snoop Dogg come to practice. He'd have all these, you know, he was in Hollywood, USC, Southern California. All these Hollywood people come to practice, these rappers. So, you know, how easy is that to recruit when you're like, you know, get a call from Snoop Dogg, hey, man, you want to come to USC? You know, people are like, hell yeah, I want to go to USC and meet Snoop Dogg.
Yes.
So that was the same kind of deal, except it wasn't him. He was just happened to be in Hollywood.
Well, and it's true though, because also, you know, these players can switch in the portal and say, you know what, all right, I liked playing for this guy for a year, but boy, the grass looks a lot greener over in Colorado. Let's see what's going on there and test the waters.
Yep. So he could, you know, he could win a national championship in like 2 or 3 years. It could happen.
Which again, I wouldn't be mad at. But with that being said, I was glad to see him get blown out.
It was fun.
I was
fun.
What are they getting blown out by this weekend? What is it?
Is
it USC?
See this, you know, this is another good one. USC is
third.
They're in the top 5 for sure, and the Caleb Williams, their quarterback, Heisman Trophy, you know, favorite. So I don't imagine Colorado's going to win. The question is, can they make it competitive, or will they get their asses spanked again? So that's going to be interesting.
Well, we all know what you want to happen.
Yes. I wanted. Who was it that scored 70 points? The Dolphins scored 70 points. I want a Dolphin type score, 70-3.
I don't know if it's true or not, but I heard the coach. I didn't watch the game, but like he didn't kick the extra point on one of them because he didn't want to embarrass them too bad. It would have, I guess, been the biggest blowout in the history.
Yes, it would. No, since '66. The last time a team scored 70 points was 1966, which is what?
A long time.
About 50, 60 years ago. That's a long-ass time.
So so on purpose, he didn't kick the extra point?
No, in the waning moments of the game, he did not go for a field goal. Like, you know, he just knelt. Because he's like, oh, come on, that's kind of a dick move.
It is, but that's kind of what you do. Like, that's the whole drive. Like, you know, that's the whole thing. How do you keep? You got to keep that fire going, right? I would have totally gone for the.
I mean,
at least
yeah.
I say that now. But if you're that head coach and God forbid you get fired, and then 2 years from now you're looking for a gig, and Denver's going, I don't know. I remember what you did to us a couple years ago, which is pretty rude. So then I guess you got to keep it, the business relationships going.
Plus, that's like bulletin board material. Next time you play those guys, when you kick that field, they were pretty pissed about the 70-0. But when you made it 73 with 8 seconds left, they were like, I can't wait to go play those guys again.
Meanwhile, on the other end of the spectrum, what was the team that Dion lost to this past weekend?
Oregon.
So, and the halftime, the coach, he goes, we're not done yet. It was like the complete opposite. Oregon's head coach is going, yeah, all right, yeah, it's only halftime. We're not done yet. We're going to come back out.
Did you see his speech?
I did not.
Oh, he was kind of like, he didn't say anything. He wasn't like the Colorado State coach who, put his foot in his mouth and riled up the Buffaloes by insulting Dion ahead of time. But at halftime, or no, this was pregame, and they mic'd him up. They had the camera and everything, and he's going like, "These guys, this ain't Hollywood. These guys are playing for clicks. We're playing for wins." Oh, and he's saying all this stuff.
That's great stuff.
Well, that's good stuff.
I mean, I wonder if he's got a speechwriter or if he's coming up with all these motivational things himself. I mean, I even wonder that about Dion, because Dion has some really slick. His presentation of the way he flows into some of those motivational sayings and speeches.
He's good. Look, he's like a preacher.
Yeah.
I mean, he's that kind, most preachers are frauds.
Just point that out.
Dion, he just, what did he do? He just copyrighted.
Of course he did. Of course he did. Why wouldn't he?
What did he copy? Let's see. He's just filed for multiple trademarks. And let me see if I can find the.
It's personal. Did he? Is that one of them that I just read on there? I just.
Oh, here it is.
Saw it quickly.
Coach Prime.
Okay.
Prime Effect. Daddy Buck.
Daddy Buck.
It's personal.
Daddy
there
Buck.
Was even more. I swear, there's more.
I believe it. I mean, there's a couple
Daddy
in there that make sense. Daddy Buck is a weird one. Even Daddy Buck.
Daddy Buck.
I was going to file a trademark for Daddy Buck.
See, I find that Google sucks, and if you want a video or something, you just go to Twitter usually. You find it a lot better.
X, please.
How do you spell Dion? D-E-I-O-N?
Oh, yeah. I think you call it, you spell it S-H-I-T-H-E-A-D.
Trademark. He had some good ones. I saw this morning. Let's see if...
I can't blame him for trademarking stuff.
Ain't nobody care. F around and find out. We keep receipts, Pitbull and Pumps, and working or twerking.
Daddy Cuck and Pitbull and Pumps are two weird ones. Or Daddy Buck.
Daddy Buck.
Daddy Buck and Pitbull and Pumps.
I mean, can you trademark we keep receipts? And F around and find out when that's been, that's not your saying, Dion.
That's true. Yeah, he's just basically taking other people's stuff. I'll trademark that too. I got money to burn.
I came up with that.
That is kind of a dick move.
I mean, and can you? I get you. I mean, why hasn't somebody? So if you can, like,
I like number one on his list. His top priority is ain't nobody care.
Ain't nobody care. That's the most grammatically incorrect trademark in the history of the world.
If I was the trademark commission, I'd be like, you know what? Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. Get the ain't nobody care.
Like 3 random words.
I'm here to file for the Ebonics Trademark Commission. I got a few sayings that we like to kick around the hood. One being ain't nobody done care. Another one we call Pitbull and Pumps.
What is that? A Pitbull and Pumps?
I don't know. It's like he went to the Urban Dictionary and stole people's stuff out of there.
Jesus. So yeah, that was, it's a happy birthday. I'm still on the Dion got his ass whipped high.
Man, speaking of football, so that's a good present for you.
It was.
There's I found out a couple players live in my neighborhood. Okay, couple,
Buccaneers.
Fairly well-known players.
Yeah.
Okay, and I don't want to call them because it's pointless for me to say it.
It doesn't.
But I'll tell you who it is. I'll write it down. But these guys are pretty premier names. Okay, and they are not picked up this season. And it's so weird to me because they're like 28 years old.
Yeah.
And it really does bring things into reality. And you go, man, the shelf life on a lot of these players, it is not long. Because I look at 28 and it's like, wow, that's a baby, right? I said, now I'm looking, but dude.
28.
Yeah.
And you're done. You may be done.
That's the thing.
And then you got to go the route. Okay, then you got to go down to the USFL or whatever it is, or maybe to Canada, and you just work your way down. I think just trying to get by.
Which I am curious of why Kaepernick never did the Canadian League or something, right? Like he's just kind of been hanging around trying to land a gig, and nobody's hiring him. If I was him, I would at least said, all right, you know what, I'm taking my talents to Canada, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, it's so weird because, like, when he took the San Francisco 49ers to the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. And that season, I wasn't, like, a huge 49ers fan, so I was, they were usually playing somebody, a lot of times they were playing somebody I was rooting for, so I was always rooting against him. And it was like, he was always, like, scrambling and making this ridiculous stuff happen, and it's like, we had him, the Kaepernick let him back and beat, and then... he was out of the league and nobody wanted to touch him.
And everybody, well, not everybody, but most people thought he was a dick.
Yeah, I mean,
that was just the way it was presented. Most people thought he was a dick.
Yeah, but it's like in this, somebody who can lead a team to the Super Bowl is pretty rare. You can't say it's a fluke. I don't think it's a fluke to win enough games to get to the playoffs and then win 3 more games against the best teams in the league and then make it to the ultimate game. I don't think that's a fluke. So it has to be just because they don't want the Kaepernick headache.
Right, because you think exactly what you said, and you're telling me that he can't get a gig at all? That really does seem like a very concerted effort.
Yeah,
I mean,
big time.
Let's just call it. It is what it is. That is an effort by the league to keep the guy out, and that's just common sense. I feel like I don't even know how you could argue with it at this point.
What to keep him out?
Yeah,
yeah. Who wants that headache?
Like the people that go, well, he wasn't that good anyways. He's better than some of the scrubs that are second, third string on a lot of these teams.
For sure. It's like. I mean, I'd say, hey, Kaepernick, we got you. We want you for backup, and you may be able to work yourself in the starting position, but you can't talk politics, and you can't be Neil. You can't do none of that shit. I don't think that's going to work with him either.
No, because then he would go, well, you're infringing on. He's one of those guys.
Yeah, and that's why you don't want him. He's one of
those
guys. He's
a problematic employee.
You don't want the problematic employee.
Nobody does.
Nobody wants that.
Here, look. Let me show you the two. These are two guys that live. If you can read that,
I can. Yeah. Well, see the one. I don't think the one
on the top or the bottom.
I think one on the top's getting a little up there, isn't he?
28.
Are you sure?
28.
Wow. It seems like he's been around forever, but I guess he's only been around for 4 or 5 years.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah, but especially in the NFL in that position, your shelf life across the board is almost always 3 years.
3 years.
Because you just get beat. I mean, 30 times a game, you're getting somebody's tackling you hard.
And then they try to, obviously, everybody's trying to screw everybody on contracts and money. That's the nature of the beast. But with that being said, I think football players get screwed a lot more in terms of, okay, they're backloading the deals and you're only getting a certain amount of money up front, and then they cut you before you get your money. Like all that weird, it's just like funny business.
They say it's the only league where the salaries aren't guaranteed.
Yeah, I mean baseball guys.
But it's like football is the one that needs to be guaranteed the most because it's the most dangerous and the most chance you're going to be SOL after 3 years.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true.
But it's.
I mean, baseball. The guys I've known that have played, and I've talked to them extensively about the whole salary thing, right? And all the guaranteed money and this, that, and the other. You will not find a baseball player. They know it's a joke. They know it's a joke. They're like, this is an obscene amount of money for these guys. But it's guaranteed, and you can't take it away. But nobody will cross those picket lines and go, you know what, guys? I think we're making too much here. You will, because it's almost like an ongoing joke of just this obscene amount of money that they can get and they will get. So nobody's going to cross those picket lines and go, I don't need all that money. Or I don't need that guaranteed cash.
I don't. How did it get to be? How did it even get to be like this? Where you can, you hear somebody signing a deal for like $300 million, and you're like, that's more than $250 million to play, baseball.
It's
That's
nuts.
just insane.
What was the Bobby Bonilla Day? You ever read about Bobby Bonilla Day?
I know about who Bobby Bonilla is.
Okay, Bobby Bonilla Day is something. Oh God, I'm gonna mess it up. I'm gonna say it wrong. It's something to do with the contract that he signed a long time ago, like 25 years ago, whatever.
Is he the first guy to break the bank?
Not break the bank. What he
But-
did was he took a deferred payment of some sort. He structured his deal where he said, "All right, I'll give you a break this year, whatever, but you have to pay me X amount of dollars for the next 50 years." So every year they celebrate Bobby Bonilla Day, and every year he gets a check for like $1 million for not doing. I mean, think about how long it's been
Yeah.
since he's played.
Long ass time.
Every year,
a
Bobby
good deal.
Bonilla Day until like 2045 or something.
He's smart. That's a smart move right there.
It is. It is.
See, they should
genius.
almost like make, a mandatory, like, okay, Johnny Manziel, the ultimate example. Okay, here's your, I don't even remember how many millions you got. Here's your 20 million. We're
Yep.
taking 2 million and we're putting it in the bank, and you can get it in 20 years. And then in 20 years he'd be going, thank God the NFL did that for me.
Yes.
If he lives that long.
Okay, Bonilla last played for the Mets in 1999 and last played in the majors for the Cardinals in 2001, but will be paid through 2035. He'll be 72.
Oh, sweet.
The payment stemmed from Bonilla's $5.9 million salary in the year 2000. The Mets released him that January, and because ownership believed that they would make a significant profit through their investments with Bernie Madoff, it goes back to Madoff involved.
What?
They agreed to defer Bonilla's salary with 8% interest and spread it across 25 years from 2011 to 2035. So he just gets paid.
It's a good business, man.
It's so good,
Most
right?
people, yeah. Most people, they
Amazing.
want that money now. They want that money now.
Oh God, I don't know. I'm happy that the NCAA players get. I guess I'm happy that they're getting some money on endorsement deals and selling their names and all that stuff. I guess that's all right. I don't know that much about it.
It's hard. I think both, but it's like it's not college. It's not college football. Isn't what it used to be. It's one of the biggest businesses, around. I mean, they're making billions. They're making billions. So you can't be making billions off young kids who are risking their health and giving them nothing. Peanuts.
Yeah.
The scholarship is peanuts. It's and you always have the people. I hate these people. Where they, it's like, they're getting a free education. It's like, screw you. They want to play football. They're making the university millions. They should get compensated.
They're getting a mass comm degree, so they can just get through this shit and attempt to make it to the NFL.
I mean, I went to college, and I didn't, I just went because, just didn't have anything
what you're
else,
supposed to do.
else to do. But if I was playing football, I would want to I just want to get a good enough grades to play football. I wouldn't give a crap about, there's some guys who, he got a PhD, he's an offensive lineman, but everybody else is just wanting to play football.
Dude,
man.
that's exactly how I feel about anybody playing at Harvard or Yale. I'm like, whoa, wait a second. Or Notre Dame, for that matter. Any of these Ivy League schools.
Highfalutin.
I'm sitting there going, wait, you're going to try to be one of the best attorneys or doctors or whatever the country has to offer and play football, and you're going to do this all at the same time? Like, anybody that can go to school at that level and play college football, I
don't even understand it.
Doesn't make any sense.
I can't comprehend that motivation.
Yeah, you either don't love football that much, or you like school too much. I can't figure out which.
I mean, playing football at any level in Division I, which Harvard is, or they're 1A. I can't remember.
Yeah, I don't know.
But that's a full-time gig. You're practicing every day. You're traveling. Imagine you're traveling. You're leaving Friday. You come up. Then for 2 days, Monday and Tuesday, you can barely walk. You're infirmed because you just got your. If you ever played football the day after the game, you're super sore.
That team is. It's got to be a real bummer on that bus. It can't be. It can't be a
they're
fun
all
bus.
Studying. Oh, in the locker room, there's books.
It can't be a fun bus.
Can't be fun. All right, man. Woo! We beat Yale. You got to go out to the bar. No, I have a calculus exam tomorrow.
Yeah, can't do that. Man.
Or do they, or they just do like, every university, if you're a superstar and you're bringing in millions to the university, they're going to pass you. When's the last time you heard of anybody, top tier university player, flunking out? Never. They're not, and you think they're all great students? No.
Maybe they are. I mean, they got to be. They got into Yale. They got into Harvard.
I'm just talking about regular.
Regular.
They don't flunk out of regular schools at all. And it's like
the whole rule of thumb is what? Not showing off, not falling behind. Just staying right in the center, man. Just being there.
Just being there.
I remember I used to go party with my buddies that lived up at like UF, and the names of the players escape me, but whoever was playing college ball at the time at Gainesville, and these were, some African-American guys that didn't grow up with means, right?
Yeah.
But yet they're driving a brand new Impala sitting on like 24-inch rims, big sound systems, and clearly they're getting paid one way or the other. Right? Like the cash on some level was filtering down to some of these guys.
A lot of Miami.
Oh my God.
The U back in the 80s. Players were getting, they weren't getting it from the university. They're getting it from the, with boosters.
But then
boosters, man.
And you see those documentaries about players and they're like going, hey, look, the guy wanted to take me out and take me shopping. What was I going to say no? Like, I didn't know it was wrong. And even if you do know it's wrong, like, you're
19 you're 19, 20 years old.
Your frontal lobe isn't exactly developed.
Exactly.
You don't know. You're just trying to get by, trying to figure it all out.
They took Reggie Bush's Heisman Trophy away.
Did they really?
He was the best player in college football that year. He got the Heisman Trophy, and they said, "You took money, give it back." He had to give back his Heisman Trophy. It's like, dude, I mean, you're college, you're 19, you're struggling. You don't have any spend. You're not allowed to get a job.
Yeah,
if you're on a scholarship,
yeah.
So you got no spending money. They would give you like $10 a day or something. Somebody offers you $1,000 cash or something. I don't know if I'd take it.
Did you watch the Johnny Manziel Netflix series?
I saw some of it, but I didn't. I saw the part about him, like they had a thing on your laptop to show how many hours of film you watch.
0.
And he was like 0. 0.
Which is great. But one of the other things is he had a buddy who was lining up all these autograph sessions for him. Because that's how you can make easy cash. And the guy was like, look, man, we can, I'll just bring a bunch of footballs in your room. You sign away and I'll just give you a big old wad of cash. So that he was making bank just signing these footballs. And I can't blame the guy.
He was already making, he was he was a high draft. He got a big contract. And then he was, he wanted spending cash. He was doing the signings.
Did he go crazy or was it just the drugs? Or
I think it's certain people. Like I think, like Trace. If you coming out of he didn't go to college, but coming out of college, say he went to college,
right?
And you give him $19 million to play quarterback for a team, he's gonna party, and he's gonna look at this much film. Just the way he,
some people mess it up.
At that age,
yeah.
That's how he was.
Yeah.
We're talking about a 19. Think about when you were 19, how stupid you were.
Oh my God.
And somebody just gives you all the money in the world, and you're not going to do stupid shit.
That's the whole thing. I go back to guys like Justin Bieber, and I remember seeing the Justin Bieber concert years back. Okay, and it was honestly. Call me a bitch or whatever. It was an amazing show, okay? And it was one of the loudest concerts I've ever been to. I had to plug my ears. I was like, it's Justin Bieber concert. But a really good show. But here he is, this kid, maybe 21, 22 at the time, something like that. Yeah. And he's in a cage, and he's flying above 17,000 screaming girls. How are you not supposed to become a dick? It's got to be very difficult to not have that take over your life at some point.
I think it would be very hard, especially and him. I mean, he was getting that since he was like 13.
Yeah.
I mean, he started way early, and I was at the at Amalie, and I saw one, and it was deafening. It was deafening.
Crazy.
Just deafening. So you're a billionaire. You're 19 years old. Everybody thinks you're a god and treats you like a god. Are you not a dick?
Yeah, and then you go to Saturday Night Live, and the cast of Saturday Night Live say, "Oh, his ego's out of control. We don't want him here again." It's like, well, yeah. What did you expect? Like, it's difficult to have somebody's ego in check because everybody surrounding you is supposed to put you over,
And they do.
And
You're surrounded by yes men.
Yeah, nobody's there to say, "Hey, maybe this isn't such a great idea."
Plus, you're really young. I mean, you haven't heard a lot about Justin Bieber lately, have you? Doing bad stuff,
No, not doing bad stuff.
No, other than he's got face paralysis.
Except for that.
But other than that, he's not throwing eggs at his neighbor's house anymore because he's not 19.
Yeah, when you're 19, that's just what you do. And then you got Britney Spears over there, crazy as shit, playing with knives, and
I can't figure that out.
And it's that thing of everybody's going the same thing. They're going, "Oh, get her out of the conservatorship," and now everybody's going, "Well, I don't know. Maybe the conservatorship wasn't such a
bad idea."
Bad idea, because she looks
insane.
She looks
got
nuts.
She got them crazy eyes, man.
Crazy eyes. She got them panties that are a weird pair of panties. I don't even know where you get those panties. They're like below.
Yeah.
They're below. They're almost to the
Almost.
the beginning of the vag, and they're dangling off her ass. But if you were to pull them up, they wouldn't fit like regular panties. I don't know where she gets them.
I don't know if it's intentional or not.
I don't know what's going on, but
She does look like a complete lunatic.
she does. It's not a good.
I mean, okay, like she did a song with Elton John because I was wondering before the song came out. I was like, why isn't someone taking Britney Spears and doing some music because she's all over the news with this conservative. I mean, and so she did a song with Elton John. What was it? Tiny Dancer.
Yeah. Hold me closer.
And I guess, was she insane during the recording? I mean, it seems to be insane.
At some point that switch flipped, and I don't know when it was, but I remember seeing Madonna, and Madonna, she used to always be kind of, I mean, depending on your idea of sexy, but she was kind of sexy in a weird
That was her whole image.
thing. Yeah.
Her whole image was sex. She came out with the book Sex.
Yeah, the whole thing. And then about 6 years ago, somewhere along that line, I saw her performing at some show, one of these award shows, and all of a sudden she just started moving like an old lady. Like, you just lose it, right? Like, I can't go into a nightclub now and rave dance like I could back in the day. Like, I don't have that motion. And Madonna lost this motion.
She did.
And all of a sudden, it went from sexy to sad.
Yeah.
And it went quick. And that's where I'm looking at the Britney Spears thing. I'm going, there's still a hint of sexiness, but it's getting to sad.
Because she started it so early. She's still, she's in her 30s.
Yeah.
But you can't. It's like Madonna, the stuff she does on social media. You're like, come on, Grandma.
Oh, yeah.
You can't pull it off. When you get older, it's hard. If you base your career on sex, at some time you got to transition.
Eventually.
Because you can't, if you're a woman, you can't pull it off. If you're a guy, you're a creep.
Yeah. No, you're exactly right. So at some point, you got to age out of all this.
You got to age out. She's not aging out. She's like turning it up. She's like, look at me. I'm 60 years old and 7 years old and a bustier.
She's the Mitch McConnell of music.
She is.
Because she's old, she's losing it, and her fan base is dissipating.
She didn't seem that weird when she was younger. She wasn't like, Madonna's crazy. She's eccentric. She's just, she had an image.
It was all sexy.
She seems like she's kind of losing it now.
Man, that left wing stuff, dude, that'll get you. If you go too deep, if you go too deep in the right or the left, either way, you go too deep in, you're gonna get lost.
Gonna get lost.
I think she got lost in the left.
There's a lot of people getting lost. See, let's take a break.
Yeah, man.
We'll come back and talk about the Golden Bachelor.
Oh my God.
What else have we?
Yeah.
I got Dia. Talk about Usher being a Super Bowl halftime guy.
Uh-oh.
I've got, since it's my birthday, I've got some important advice to you, Matt, about what you need to do when you get older. And it's not financial.
This is that was a deep tease.
That was a deep.
And I'm actually excited to hear this advice.
Let me get. Speaking of Mitch McConnell, I'll get a Mitch McConnell song on here. I mean, I had to. Just
What did you do?
I was just.
What did you do?
It's a Ned did a Beatles deal. Just because all you need, your song doesn't even have to be good. All you need is the video of Mitch McConnell pooping his pants and stroking out, and whatever. The song's just a bonus.
I'm excited.
And Mike and Matt will be right back in a few minutes, and we'll talk about the Golden Bachelor. Because if you're watching football, you're hearing about the Golden Bachelor. They play that ad on Fox 10 times a show, and we'll be right back with Mike and Matt. Come on, Ned. Come on, Ned. Come on, Ned. Come on. I want that drop. I want that drop. Hey, Mitch McConnell, he's stiff as concrete. 81 years old, he's fucking obsolete. He stole your money, but he won't repent. Now when he gives speeches, he must wear depends. He gets glassy-eyed and he gets stone-faced. Right now he is looking deaf and dumb. Watch him freeze up with his fucking eyes glazed. Senile old bum. Hey, Mitch McConnell, you are in distress. In your diaper, I think you just made a mess. Oh my God, this is embarrassing. Look at that shit. Look at that shit. Fuck that old grandpa, fuck that old grandpa. Fuck that old grandpa, fuck that old grandpa. Fuck that old grandpa, fuck that old grandpa. Senile old bum. In your diaper, I think you just made a mess. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. Tuesday, Mitch's eyelids, they are drooping. Wednesday morning, Mitch is looking rough. Thursday, in his pants, old Mitch is pooping. Senile old bum. Hey, Mitch McConnell, you're a fucking joke. It gives me a chuckle when you have a stroke.
Somebody else have a question? Please speak up.
That was a pretty good timing on that one.
These can go bye-bye forever. Forever? Following trends is fun, but maybe not worth the damage in the end. Look at these beautiful brows on my mom. You did not have those back in 2001.
But yours look really natural, and I like that.
Thanks to Nelastin, now I have some.
He's rude. He's crude. He's a southern boy with a New York accent. He's Andrew Dice Foxworthy.
You might be a redneck. If your front porch falls down, it kills more than 7 dogs. Why you f***ing your sister? Oh!
He's a little bit country and a little bit rock and roll.
You might be a redneck if you have more than 4 cars up on blocks in your front yard, and you f*** your sister in every one of them. Oh!
Andrew Dice Foxworthy, the baddest mother south of the Mason-Dixon line.
You might be a redneck if you go to the convenience store and you pick up truck and buy a six-pack of Old Milwaukee, a can of Copenhagen, and while you're gone, your dad your sister. Oh!
The Nashville Network proudly presents Andrew Dice Foxworthy.
Dickory, dickory, dock. My sister was in my. The clock struck 10. My dad joined in. We her well past 6 o'clock. Oh!
Andrew Dice Foxworthy.
Minnie Pearl, I her. Oh!
He's rude. He's crude. He's a southern boy with a New York accent. He's Andrew Dice Foxworthy.
You might be a redneck if the primary color of your car is Bondo, which coincidentally is the color of your sister's pussy. Oh!
He's a little bit country and a little bit rock and roll.
You might be a redneck if you go to a family reunion to meet chicks and end up f***ing your Aunt Gladys and your sister. Oh!
Andrew Dice Foxworthy, the baddest mother south of the Mason-Dixon line.
You might be a redneck if someone asks for your ID and you show them your belt buckle. Of course, first you gotta move your sister's head cause she's f***ing blowing you. Oh!
The Nashville Network proudly presents Andrew Dice Foxworthy.
Mary had a little lamb who grazed upon the grass. Every night her brother f***ed its little lammy ass. Ow!
Andrew Dice Foxworthy.
Reba McEntire can s*** my d***. Ow!
I run one of the tightest boards in the world.
It's amazing.
Never my strong suit. Welcome back to the Mike and Matt Show. We're talking about the Golden Bachelor here in a minute.
Oh.
I was playing that Andrew Dice Foxworthy, and you were asking me about it. And it was like, that was pretty early on. And I had, when I started, I don't know what I was thinking. Like, if I was starting like a gig like, the Bubba Show like I was back then, I would have been writing for weeks and weeks and come up with, right out of the box, I'd have like all this stuff. I was just like, showed up day one, like, all right, I'm trying to think of some stuff.
So you had nothing prepared?
Nothing. And I didn't have anything groundbreaking for, several weeks. And then I did the Andrew Dice Foxworthy, and he's playing it, and like he stops it, halfway through, and he's like, this is the shit we need. And I was like, yes. It was a very memorable moment in my career. It's like the first bit I did that was like, he was like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's why you're here. That was cool for me.
Abortion City was a really strong bit. That was a really good one.
That's, and that's just like, so like nobody would even
Abortion City.
Even third trimester.
No problem. Abortion City.
You wouldn't be able to do that now at all. Not even. You probably wouldn't. They wouldn't even let you talk about abortion on the air. I don't think. Like just like controversially talk about it.
Yeah. I
mean, that was like, I did abortion stuff all the time because I was like, I like to make people. I like to. That's what I like. I like to do that.
I remember we had a meeting with a consultant one time, whoever the hell it was, and I mean what they said was true, right? But they're going, don't talk about politics. Like it's a 50-50 audience split. Mm-hmm. You're 50's going to love you, 50's going to hate you. Don't talk about politics.
Yep.
And that was just like always their big rule of thumb. But you could talk about anal sex. You could talk about anything else you wanted.
They don't care.
Don't talk about politics. It was the weirdest thing.
It's true. It's true. You see, and I think you got it. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say when I did my night show, and I would talk about things, I'd come up with some stuff, and one common theme that I'd always get, they would go, all right, so we really just want you to talk about sex more, and I'm like, what? Huh? And like, yeah, if you can really just keep talking about sex. This was the advice I was given, and I'm going, all right, first of all, this is in my thought. This is my inner monologue. I'm going, I've been talking about sex for the last 20 years, easy, every day. I've seen things, god-awful things, things that no human should probably ever see happen in front of my eyes. I've been doing this. Like, this is not, like, now you're going to tell me to talk about sex, and let me tell you something. When I talk about sex and I go too far, are you also going to be the one that says, hey, no problem, buddy, no sweat. We told you to talk about sex.
Nope.
No. And at that point I go, I think they have it in for me.
This is a setup. Oh, Camp, thank you very much, babe. Sorry. It's the Mike Show.
Oh, no, I wasn't even on?
From just till now.
Oh, no. No, I'm kidding.
I do when the Ned Show, like I used to have like that bust of Macho Man down there, and then I got a Scotty Farrell thing on a popsicle stick, and I put them in the chairs, and I would like do all three things. And then I'd be doing something. Then I'd move on, and I'd be doing something. I think it was great. I was like, man, that was great. And then I'd look, at the OBS and go, oh, it was on Macho Man the whole time. Great. I'm sure that was compelling.
You're like a poor man's Jeff Dunham.
Oh.
You've got the puppets, you got the characters, but keeping it all together is a real balance.
It's impossible. But switching cameras and stuff, I gave up on that.
I can imagine.
Much work.
Dude.
Too much work.
I get it. Oh, my God.
Man, I hate it when I write a note. I wrote the VIP.
I'm sorry. I was going to say, you mentioned Macho Man, and I brought a picture of you dressed up as Macho Man. This was, I think, at this house. This was a Halloween party.
This isn't that long ago, is it? There's Bob, the real fake Ned, Macho Man, and Tig. Is that Tigger?
That's right.
Tigger. That's the picture. That's next week's picture for.
Oh no!
For the show.
Wait, see, I brought two more pictures. So, and I'm sorry, I don't want to.
I don't care. I couldn't remember what I was going to talk about. Go ahead.
There's your one for the week. So this one's you and brother and your wife. I don't know if you remember that one or not. That was, I think, it's Island Way Grill.
Island Way.
I think. But you and that long, luxurious hair.
Long ass, luxurious hair. What a joke. That's a pain in the ass, man. Screw that.
You were living it up with that long hair.
Yeah, I kept that till I was, God, how long? It was like 2000. I was in my mid-30s, I think.
You were going for it.
I was going for it.
But I never saw you put it in a ponytail. I never saw you like do a man bun or anything. You always just left it flowing.
No, I was at home. Like I'd wear, like a lot of times I put on a hat. You pull it through, so I don't have to deal.
Oh, that's what you have in this picture.
Deal with it.
This is the best picture.
Oh, really?
Yes, it is. This is you and I at a CD signing. Because I think last week we were talking about old CD signings that we would do, and some would be really great and some would be really bad.
Yep.
This is a picture of the really bad one, and I remember we captured it in time because we're going, this is awful. And I think it was at the old mall.
Was it Clearwater
Pinellas
Mall
Park
or something.
And it's just you and I sitting there with no one there, no prospects of anybody coming in, just nothing.
Wow.
Do you remember that?
I remember. I was in a record store.
Yes. It was in like a Specs or Tape World or one of these.
God dang, you look young as hell.
Have I aged bad?
I mean, you look the same. Here you look different because you look so young.
So I've aged badly. Is what you're saying.
I think you look exactly the same.
I think you look pretty much
exactly
the same.
You
just have shorter hair.
I'll have to put all these pictures up on my social.
Put it up on the gram.
Man, I mean the look on our face.
The look of boredom and sheer panic and terror and going, we wasted our night for this.
I'm giving the side. I'm going, and you're just like, oh man. I remember that.
Box up all these CDs and bring them back to the station.
I remember it vividly. Not popular at that mall.
Yeah, that mall didn't do well for us.
I imagine, yeah. See, you get spoiled and then you do the serious signings, and it's like, yeah, there ain't no bad serious signings on the Bubba Palooza deals. There were no bad signings.
That was cool, yeah.
I mean, those, God, the best was Canada. I mean, you had people lined up out the building in line. Just we had 5 different tables. Hatley, Bubba, Ned, Spice, me, and the lines were out the door around the building, just to get our autograph. It was like pretty badass.
Yeah, it was cool, and everybody was nice.
Canadians were just amazing. The guy greets us at the airport. I don't know about the security in Canada, but he's gotten into all of our hotel rooms and left coolers of Pabst Blue Ribbon. I don't know. I guess we should have been a little more. I was like, hey, this guy came in and got.
I was thinking about Canada the other day because I was thinking, you don't hear anything about Canada. Now, with the exception of on my way here today, there's actually a news story about Canada. They did there was some gaffe with Zelensky and
A Nazi.
Yeah, all that stuff.
Yeah, that deal.
But prior to that, I hadn't heard anything about Canada since Trudeau's blackface. But just in general, or the trucker
strike.
But like your everyday life or your massacres, your school shoot, all the stuff that would be more like commonplace here in America, I don't even know if it happens up there. Or maybe we just don't get the Canadian news down here. Maybe I need to Google Canadian news and see what's happening. But I feel like they're pretty trouble-free.
All the Canadian news, because that's probably my algorithm. I get
Canadian news?
political news. It's all about Trudeau trying to take away everybody's rights.
So it's much like
taking them way left.
Okay,
it's kind of like this country. It's all wokeism. That's all the news that I get out of that. Nothing real news. It's all just this. This woke stuff. And
wow.
Everybody hates Trudeau.
So it's the same up there, basically.
It's like before like COVID happened, I'd think of what country I wanted to bug out to. And then I realized there's no country to bug out to. Every country's the same.
You got to go South America.
Maybe.
I'm thinking
gotta go third world.
You kind of yeah. I mean, El Salvador is looking better and better.
Yeah, that guy whipped everybody into shape.
Whooped everybody into shape.
Put everybody in jail. Hey, you got to do what you got to do. They had the
big
highest
on Bitcoin. I love it.
They had the highest murder rate in the world. El Salvador in the world, and he was like, I'm going to put all these people in jail because they're killing everybody.
And then they gave him guff over that, and they're going, well, you're throwing these people into these prisons, and they're not good conditions. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It's almost, see, that's probably, what may happen to this country eventually. Eventually, it's a trade-off. It's like you have to give up your rights to get all these criminals off the streets. You have to, and it sucks because the government's what's allowing this to happen.
Yes.
And then you give the government more power to fix it, and then all of a sudden you're screwed by the government and their power.
Because they got too much of it.
That's the way it goes with every empire, and I'm hopefully pushing this. If we just last another 20 years, I'll be good.
Well, I'll see you in El Salvador.
Yeah, and you can also live very well in El Salvador.
And you can move down there, and they waive your citizenship fee or whatever if you can prove you own like 3 Bitcoin. They're like, come on in, because they're big Bitcoin supporters. Yeah. They're building a Bitcoin city.
A Bitcoin city. It's made out of Bitcoin.
They're using a volcano to the power of a volcano to mine Bitcoin and run this sort of.
That's brilliant.
I mean,
geothermal electricity to mine Bitcoin.
Yeah, and I'm not the best at explaining it, but it is a crazy, cool sort of scenario. Like, if it works out, right? If it works out, it's gonna be like, whoa, they did what? They mined this resource, and
you know what? If the more successful El Salvador becomes on this game plan, the more all the big countries in the world are going to want to squash them.
It's very true.
Because they don't want people thinking that, you can have a good country. They don't want...
Well, and the president, he'll blast Biden on Twitter.
Yeah.
Like, it's pretty good. Like, he's just sort of... I don't know. There's some sort of brutal honesty there, at least, for a politician, even if it's in El Salvador. It seems all right.
It's true. You were talking politics, and it's like, I think, during the COVID thing, we lost a lot of people, and it's like, because I'm not, I used to do I'm right, you're wrong, so fuck off.
Yeah.
And my thing was always, both parties are the worst parties in the world. They both suck. They hate you. But it's a con game. They're all in it together. And then with the COVID and everything, it started becoming like the party in charge is doing things that I so vehemently disagree with that now people are calling me Johnny MAGA, and it's like, no, I didn't even vote for Trump, but I can't. I don't. Government control. That's my number one bugaboo. Is fuck. No, don't tell me what to do.
Well, they always think it's everybody. Well, not everybody, but some folks think it's binary. It's either 0 or 1, 0 or 1. It doesn't have to be that way. You can have a little bit of an opinion of both, or you can say, you know what, they're all dicks. Like, why is that such a weird concept to have? Going, I don't like either one of these ideas or concepts.
People need something to believe in. If you don't believe in that's it's just like sports. It's like your team really has no relationship or does nothing good for you at all. You have no attachment to this team, but you love that team.
Yeah.
And because you need to be part of a team. And that's, that you need to be a part of a team. You need to be a part of a political party, because if you don't believe in either party, you're like an outcast.
Yeah.
People don't want to be an outcast. They don't. And you're an independent. What's that?
Yeah, it's funny when you talk about like being a libertarian or anything along those lines. You seem fringe. It's like, what makes those
You're a
ideas
weirdo.
of being a libertarian any more fringe than the ideas of being far right or far left?
Because the mainstream demonizes libertarians because they don't like that thought process. They don't people's rights, personal rights. No, boo.
Yeah, and the last thing the left or the right wants is a legitimate third party. That would spell disaster for both of them. Because all of a sudden, if you got a legit third party, I mean, funding the whole thing, that brings the house of cards, down.
That's why they don't allow them to even be part of the debates. That's the most obvious tell ever.
Yeah.
It's like, no, they can't be. No, we don't want nobody hearing what they say.
Yeah, Trump's not going to be in the debate tonight, right? But if a libertarian would be like, hey, you know what? I'll take a spot if that's cool with y'all. They'd be like, no,
Nope.
you're not right wing enough. It's just a weird.
Back to the Golden
Oh my
Bachelor.
God. I'm excited. Are you excited about the Golden Bachelor?
Are you? See, I'm vehemently anti-reality TV just because. I'm an entertainer, and I've written for a living for 30 years, and I love entertainment. And it's like they're taking all that and just throwing it down the drain. And now what people do, they don't want to see talented actors have talented writing, have talented directing. All they want to see is trashy people arguing. And it just devastates my soul.
Well, now you're going to see old trashy people arguing.
Who's going to watch that?
I am. I know.
Oh, my God.
I know. I'm at least going to watch the first episode.
Who wants to see? That's TV's all you want to see young, sexy, attractive people. You want to see this. These people. They're not 40-year-olds. This is like a 60-year-old dude, and the broads are like, we don't have to use birth control because we're old. It's like that.
You can come inside. Come on inside. Come inside. I can't.
And this old lady in the promo, she gets out of the limo. She's got a walker, and then she takes it off, and it's like, well, it's not like you really wowed me when you took it off. I mean,
It could have gone either way. You could have legitimately been in a walker or not.
who's going to watch? Like a 20 or 30-year-old's not going to watch The Golden Bachelor. They're going for the older demographic. You think that's it? Which is what I guess you're in now, Matt.
There's a couple of things. One, you talk about being a talented writer, and it's true. The problem is with television right now is all the writers are on strike. So you can't get anything accomplished. Nobody's writing. So all they've done is now cranked up these stupid, horrible game shows.
That's
going,
true.
Well, we can just do a game show about see which ball this hole goes in, and somebody wins $50,000. Like people watch that. Like
Snake Oil Salesman with David Spade.
Yes, that's exactly what I had in my brain. I don't even know what that show's about. All I know is I saw the promo for it. I'm going, yep, writers are definitely on strike still.
Exactly.
But when it comes to The Golden Bachelor, I don't look. It's a guilty pleasure. Some reality TV. Sometimes you need some mindless stuff to take place of some other stuff, right? So that's the way I look at it. Plus, I like to make fun of it. I'm not watching it because I'm rooting for anybody. I'm watching it to make fun of it. You understand, don't you, buddy?
Maybe I'll watch it and make fun of it. Maybe I think that's must-see TV. We'll both watch. Me and Donna will watch the premiere of The Golden Bachelor.
You'll be mad at life.
That's good. Then we can talk about it the next show.
Yeah, you'll be so mad at life because it really is a terrible. It's a terrible show. It's a terrible premise. Everything about it's pretty terrible. But And what happened to Jesse Palmer?
Is he like hosts it?
Yeah, he's the host.
He's getting paid. That's what happened to Jesse Palmer.
All right, let me take it back. There was a host before Jesse Palmer. Jesse Palmer was a contestant on The Bachelor back in the day.
Was he?
Yeah, but
before he was a football player, or
I think after.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
so he had a
So
leg
that's-
up. They don't
that's
usually
the
have
whole-
famous contestants, do they?
Not usually, yeah. So I think
He's not a
that's
bad-looking guy either.
Yeah, he's a good-looking guy. But then they had this other host, and this other host did it for like 10 years or whatever, and then he got involved in a controversy where he said something in an interview he shouldn't have said,
jeez.
and he got ousted.
Yeah.
And they bring in Jesse Palmer as the host. And I got to tell you, the show hasn't changed one bit. Like, you can just, on a show like that, with hosts like that, with the format it is, you just trade them out. It makes no difference at all.
It doesn't.
So tell me, how was the date? So are you enjoying it? Are you liking her? You feel like you've got a path with her? Is she being vulnerable? That's the big word.
Vulnerable.
Are you being vulnerable? It's the same shit. Every host, you can trade them out.
I can't
like
wait
clockwork.
I don't think I've ever seen a full episode of The Bachelor, so I'm excited to watch an entire episode.
Don't be excited, because just next week all you're going to do is go, Matt, I hate you for making me watch that. It was a terrible show, and I'm never doing it again. And I won't blame you. But it is a terrible
I'm gonna
show.
watch it. Mike's Piss Bucket subscribed for 17 months.
Mike's Piss Bucket?
Mike's Piss Bucket.
Man, happy birthday to you.
And That Indian Kevin subscribed for 21 months as well. Thank you, That Indian Kevin. And Mike's Piss Bucket.
That Indian Kevin. Is that Indian Kevin?
What's up, Buzzy? Let me get my little Buzzy. Come here, Buzzy. Come here,
Oh, what do you got there?
come here, my little Buzzy. Oh, he's such a scaredy cat. Oh, there's my little Buzzy.
How old is that dog?
He's old. He's like 13 years old. Something like that.
Is it wrong to just bury dogs in the backyard?
I buried all my dogs in the backyard, every single one of them. And
Really?
my cats are not. Yeah, I just bury in the backyard. The vet
Do you
goes.
put them in a container?
Did you go, boy, Buzzy? No. Just plop them in there. Dig a hole, plop them in. You gotta make sure you dig it deep enough.
Yeah,
'cause
what's
you don't want
deep
the
enough?
paws sticking out. You don't want the paw. No, you gotta.
That'd be a nightmare.
I mean, always. I think about this all the time when they talk about like people digging shallow graves. Serial killers. And it's like, man, that grave is no digging a deep grave is no joke. Just burying a 40-pound dog,
well, that's
is
basically a
exo-
mini human right there.
No, you 40-pound dog, not deep, because I'm not worried about the cops getting not my dog's dead. So just get it a good 6 inches below the surface, so nothing to No, actually, I'd probably get it about a foot down. I mean, a foot of dirt below so it's about 3 feet down, maybe. Fuck. And it's not, it's, just big enough for a dog. And it's a bitch, man. When you're done digging that hole for that dog, you're like, damn. One of my dogs died when
Bringing a backhoe?
nobody was home. I was the only person home. And the dog died, she died right there in front of me. And I was like, well, let me go bury this dog before anybody gets out.
Hold on, before the kids knew?
Yeah, I was like, I got to get this dog buried before anybody comes home.
Whoa, hold on. The dog dies. Mm-hmm. You're the only one home.
Only went home.
You decided not to tell anybody. Instead, you
No, I'm
decided...
going to tell them when they get home.
But you're not going to give them the chance to say...
No, then you don't need to say goodbye to the dead body. No, it's not. No.
So you dug a hole, you stuck the dog in, and had everything polished up and done before the family got home.
I think the headlights were coming down, and I was out there in the dark. I was like,
what are you doing, Mike? Nothing?
I didn't kill the dog. I
wasn't
swear
me.
I didn't kill the dog.
Were they pissed?
No, they were sad. They were sad. They were just sad that the dog died.
Oh, my God. How many dogs do you have buried on this?
Only
Plot of
dogs.
land.
See, dogs don't. Cats are more fragile than dogs. Dogs. I've got 3 dogs buried on this property, and it's fixing to be a lot more because I got 6, and they're all 8.
If you can have it your way. You've already got holes dug for every single one of them.
Oh, no. See, you never know. See, that's the problem. See, these killers need to pre-dig the holes. They might even rethink the murder after they get halfway through. They're like, no. That's why they're all shallow graves, because it's like you start digging, you're like, yeah, no.
Yeah.
This is too much work.
Well, I watch about it, all these little mysteries and unsolved crimes and all the Dahmer series and everything. And it's like, okay, well, how would you dispose of a body? Like, what is the best way? I feel like Dahmer technically speaking, he did a pretty good job. I mean, he had a vat of acid. That's pretty decent thought.
I mean, he killed a lot of people, so he got away with it. I think the rotting smell coming from his
And he go
apartment is what gave him away. You know,
Yeah. Letitia next door is all, "What's you got going on in here?"
It's just some meat, rotten meat. For
Yeah.
some reason, I got some meat and it's just spoiled. So I just haven't taken it out yet.
for the last 6 months.
And then she's listening to him saw bones in the middle of the night. Maybe burning a body.
It doesn't get rid of the teeth.
So then you scrape it, then you just
Get the
take the teeth. I mean, you know where the skull
you
is.
eat them.
Nah, I mean, are you telling me you can't go to the 7-Eleven and drop them off in a little...
Dude, flesh the teeth. Flesh the teeth.
Yeah, you're telling me... Yeah, if teeth is what gets you busted for murder...
You throw them out the window of your
Right.
car while you're driving.
I mean, Lorena Bobbitt threw a dick out her window, and they had trouble finding that. You telling me they're going to find a tooth
gonna find
in
the
the
teeth.
woods? Come on.
Work harder, think smarter.
Yeah, come on.
Dig deeper.
Be better.
Go.
Dig deeper.
Dig
That's-
deeper. Like like the body is like that far below the surface.
Yeah, they don't even... I don't know. It seems... all
Like
these-
I buried a dead deer one time.
You did?
Yeah,
Why?
because it was on my property, and I
Oh.
didn't want but it didn't. See, I was so it wasn't a dog. It wasn't my dog. The dead deer, I fucking did. So barely buried it, and the next day, there's the animals digging it up and the whole hooves out there. I was like, oh shit.
Oh, no. My wife hit a deer, and she loves deer. Like, people like deer. I think if you're up north, you probably hate deer because they're so crazy common. And around these parts, they're pretty common. But they're still cute to look at, and you'd like to be friends with a deer, but they're not going to let you.
Yeah.
But she hit one. The messed up part, it was around Christmas time, and you know how you can get those antlers and the red nose for your car.
Yeah.
So her minivan at the time,
Oh man.
had the antlers, the nose, and she just clocked this thing as it was crossing the street. Then it was so badly hurt because people pull over and she's calling the cops. So the cops come out there and they basically go, "It's a pregnant mom and there's nothing we can do about it. It's beyond repair." So the guy takes his gun out, shoots the thing in the head in the middle of the road to polish it off. She calls me. She's like, "Oh my God!" It was the most traumatic thing ever. And then we get the car back to the house, and she's got fur in the grill, blood, dents, and these 2 antlers and a little red nose on her car. And it was around Christmas time, so everywhere you look, there's just reminders of deer and everywhere. It was traumatic.
You just missed out on the most viral video of all time. That whole scenario. It's like
The cop out there capping it.
and then you pan back to the car with the nose and the antlers. It's like
I
it's
did this to you.
Oh my God, it's the best thing ever.
It is crazy. What happened to the deer? Did you it was just
I
dead?
have no idea. Some animals the animals die. So if you live out here, occasionally
Yeah.
you find a dead animal.
Great.
Yeah. I go probably not tonight. I got some deer stories. So I got deer stories.
Oh. One of these episodes, we're
One
going
of
to
these,
get to
we'll
the
get into
deer
my
stories.
deer stories. Yeah. I wish I had my phone. I took. I was riding my bike next door. Tried to get in a little workout for the Matt and Mike show, and there was 10 big ass wild turkeys over there, big, good size, and they could care less about me. So I stopped and walked up and took a video of them. It's like, that's suburban wild turkeys, because in the wild you got to dress up like a turkey and put turkey urine on yourself and
Oh, that's true.
cover yourself in camo and wait for a turkey to come along. Here I could have capped one of those. I could walk up and go boom.
Have you hunted?
No, I wouldn't unless I needed food. Like
Yeah.
times get tough. But these like 10 of them, I could have killed all 10 of them.
And they would have just...
They would. Maybe a couple would have got away once they realized what was going on, but they I was like, just walked right up to them, video and everything. They were totally cool with it because they go through those, they wander the whole development. No, people feed them. They don't so they're like tame turkeys.
All right, I'm going to ask a dumb question. Do turkeys fly at all?
That's funny you should ask. Just the other day, I was like, we were at the dining room window, and I was like, Donna, what is up in that tree? I said, I can't figure out. There's a big ass something up in that tree. And then all of a sudden it flies, to another tree. And then I was like, hey, look, there's another. And there's like all these same turkeys I'm talking about. They were like 30, 40, 50 feet up in the tree. And they were flying like a good 75 yards to another tree. And I was like, I had no idea turkeys could fly like that.
So they can fly in spurts, like before they get tired kind of
thing?
thing?
Pretty decent spurts. You wouldn't think. Like better than a turkey could fly.
What about flamingos?
They fly. Yeah.
I've never seen a flamingo fly, I don't think.
I've just seen them at Busch Gardens.
And I think they keep them down over there, right?
They clip their wings.
Just gonna keep them down.
They keep them down.
You're not leaving here. If you think you're leaving here, I'm going to clip your wings.
Clip your wings.
Not a chance in hell you're leaving here.
You're going to take away the most precious thing you have, flight.
Now, wait. I'm also going to put a tag on you so I know exactly where you're not flying to at all times.
Don't try any funny business, flamingo.
Escape out of here.
There was a guy a couple of years ago. Did you remember that story in Busch Gardens? He was trying to take a picture of a flamingo. And some reason the flamingo pissed him off, and he grabbed it by its feet and beat it to death in front of his kids.
Which is insanity.
It's like totally insane.
That is insane. Like snapped his leg.
Yeah, it was terrible. And it's like, I think he might have got jail time. I don't know. But it's like, see, stuff like that, I get it. It's just, it's just an animal, but you're displaying some bizarre behavior there that you might need to get locked up for a while.
It's pretty psychopathic behavior.
It's in front of your kids too. Can you imagine in front of your kids
now,
killing an animal out of spite?
Okay. Now let's steel man that argument for a second. Okay. What's worse? That guy doing that, or you take your kid out hunting and you go, son, watch this. Boom! And you blow the head off of it. And you leave it there, or you hang its head on your wall and go, I did that to you. You remember me. Like, yes, it's psychopathic behavior. The hunter has a better argument against it being called psychopathic behavior, right? And I've never hunted, but I get it. I'm not anti-hunting or anything.
I'm not either.
But okay, so a guy takes a flamingo and whips it around because it made it mad, and he beats the thing. Terrible, awful. But the guy takes a shotgun and blows this other one's head off, and it's okay.
Yeah, I mean, like
it's just the way society perceives it.
It's like beautiful, attractive animals.
Yes,
can't kill. You can't kill. Like horse. Horse meat. I got horses, man. I got 3 horses. They're not they're not that much more intelligent than cows, I don't think. They're just big animals. But you can kill a billion cows, but people don't want you killing horses because they're beautiful.
Yes,
that's
very majestic creatures.
Yeah, but cows are like, dumb. Eating their cud.
Yeah, and they're going, oh, we raise, we've got 20 cows, and yep, these 5 right here we've had for a few years, they're off to slaughter next week. It's like, whoa, you can just emotionally detach just like that? Like, that's it?
Yeah, but these horses, these 5 horses ain't going to slaughter. I mean, like in Europe, they eat horse meat, I think. It ain't a big deal.
So you can't slaughter a horse here? I mean, technically speaking, anybody could do
That's a great question. If I wanted to slaughter one of my horses, could I? Is that legal? I don't know if horse meat, is there...
This has turned into a very psychopathic episode of the Mike and Matt Show.
Slaughter my horses now.
We're talking about digging graves, burning bodies, and slaughtering horses.
That's a good question, though. Is that legal? I don't even know if it is. Beaver smell like tuna. 200 bits.
Woo!
Appreciate it, beaver.
Some beaver does smell like tuna. Just for the record.
Spicoli, dude, subscribe for 52 months. Jeez, has it been that long? 52 months. Time flies, Matt.
How does it work? I don't know. I don't understand how the subscriptions work still. So 52 months. So he had a subscription before, right? Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden it comes up and he goes, I'm going to do it for another 52 months. Like,
no. That's every month it'll come up like 1 month, 2 months. So he's done it for 50. This is his 52nd month of subscribing.
Oh,
so
that's
subscribe
crazy.
So that's what that is.
That's really cool.
It is cool. We got a lot of people, in the 50s. It's like it's a long time flies, man. We've been doing this 4.5 years.
That also shows like a really cool, loyal audience. The fact that somebody's been in it with the trenches with you for 50 plus months. That's
dedication.
That's pretty cool.
It is dedication. It's like, it's a little frustrating being on Twitch because people want gaming and cleavage on Twitch and nobody's looking for talk shows. But, we got the core audience that we've managed to keep.
So it's funny. Somebody reached out to me. It was one of these little messages or whatever, because we were talking about cleavage on Twitch the other week.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody reminded me that, I guess on the old show, the cuck made everywhere were boobs or something like that.
Oh, yeah. We got these really nice. Nice.
So it's true.
I have mine still. I made sure.
Don't do it.
You've opened a can of worms here, Matthew.
You guys said they were fake.
We okay. They were nice. They're very nice. They're very nice. They look very realistic, and you had to wear like a female shirt with a V.
Speaking of psychopathic behavior. Wait. Okay. So, how often would this happen? This is.
I think it only happened like once or twice, and the people hated it.
So you're telling me all the people that love cleavage on Twitch that
they didn't like our cleavage.
Didn't gain any traction. Oh my
God! Didn't gain no traction at all.
Maybe we need to play video games then. Maybe we need to play. I don't play video. I need to play old school like Mortal Kombat or something.
You have to be really good at video games.
Yep.
Lets me out.
My stream would last about 2 seconds. All 3 lives gone. That's it.
Yeah. So, it's where we landed.
Well,
and I think about like if we've gone to YouTube, everything I do on YouTube they demonetize because I use like all the parody songs and everything. It's always like
because you use a song from an artist and then they flag it.
Yeah, and they'll say, "Oh, this doesn't affect you, but you can't get no money from this, the entire episode you just did." And I don't think we would make any money that way. So we just kind of stuck with Twitch. Uncut Media Mandingo, 5,000 bits for my birthday. For my birthday bits, 5,000 bits. Appreciate it.
That's awesome. Uncut meat.
That was remember. You were there?
Oh, of course, yeah. You were there. Yeah, I remember the menu items.
I swear, I think it was pretty good. We did like 45 minutes on the original Uncut Meaty Mandingo with just double entendre.
It was a tremendous break.
It was double, like 1,000 double entendres. Not one thing that you could be fined for, but it was the most sexual, disgusting conversation that you could have for the Uncut Meaty Mandingo with a side of man sauce.
That's right. The side of man sauce. Can't forget about the side of man sauce.
Can't forget about the man sauce.
That's right. Oh, man. Yeah, that was good. That was a good break.
Oh.
Some of these things. All right.
Now, real quick before we move along, when is the Golden Bachelor? Because I've seen the promo 1,000 times. I have no idea when it's going to start.
So if you're watching this now, it's tomorrow night. It's going to premiere on ABC. Yeah, I think it's tomorrow night, 8 o'clock.
Oh, tomorrow.
Mark your calendar, my friend. Mark your calendar.
What is that? Thursday night? We're going out. Oh, shit. I'll DVD it.
Where are you going? You going out?
Just get wings. It's a birthday. It's a little birthday. Miller's Ale House up there?
Yeah. Okay. Good for you. Yeah, a little birthday.
Donna said she's taking me out for my birthday.
Really?
Yeah, she's a sweetheart.
Some dinner and dancing?
She's a sweetheart. No, there's no dancing.
Just wings and back to the house?
I love to dance, man. I know this is going to shock you.
Boot, scoot, and boogie?
I never dance. But I used to like it back in the day when you're young and you get drunk and you just dance. I'm not a good dancer.
Yeah.
But I like to do it. It's freeing. But I never get to do it unless nobody's in the house.
I wouldn't even know where to go to dance now.
I could do.
I don't even.
Ybor? You go to Ybor?
I don't know because I feel like even the nightclubs is it
just EDM?
That or they're in some sort of K-hole or something. I don't know.
I mean, what's up with modern music? It's very confusing to me. Like, Morgan Wallen is played heavily on all pop stations.
Yeah.
and it's like his song, the big song, Last Night. It's totally country. It's not poppy at all. I mean, he's twanging the hell out. Last night we let the liquor talk, and that's on 93.3 FLZ. Why is that?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I don't know. I mean, but there's artists like Jelly Roll, who's a great artist, and he should have been on every rock station and country station at the same time, right? Like, I mean, it took a while for these people to catch on some of this stuff. But Morgan Wallen, he's just one of those artists that has the ability to cross over.
So is it because he said the N-word?
I hope not.
See, he's also someone. So he said the N-word, and so he was like Morgan Wallen. They
canceled him for like a minute.
Canceled him for like a week, and then all of a sudden, he was everywhere, and he's on stage with all these black rappers, hanging with him and singing their songs. It's like, I'm trying to figure out the Morgan Wallen phenomenon.
I think, well, in that situation, I grew up in South Tampa, so they use the word a lot.
The mean streets.
The mean streets, South Tampa. I think he gets a little bit of a pass because he didn't say it in a derogatory
No, he didn't,
way.
not at all.
Right? I mean, not to, and again, I know, like, it's a derogatory term. I get it. But he didn't say it in a truly mean-spirited, racist way.
He said it to his friend. That's what, like you say, it's a derogatory term, but they won't, they like to keep it going.
Sure.
The powers that be, they won't admit when Trace was in high school. So this is like 16 years ago. Mm-hmm. And then N-word was very prevalent in rap music, and rap music's core target audience is young white teens. And so Trace grew up saying the N-word to his friends. Like, if he's texting his friends, he's like, "What's up, my N?" Because he's not racist. He didn't think racism. But all his life he's heard, well, you call your friends the N-word, because that's the music he was way into. He had a grill for about a year. I wasn't too happy about that. Wasn't too happy. I let it slide. I just told him it was stupid. I didn't force him not to wear it. He grew out of it after like 6 months or a year. But, he grew up on it. So if he said it, it's not a derogatory term. It's not negative. It's not racist. He doesn't even know it's racist. And that's how it should go. And eventually, nobody cares about the N-word. But they brought racism back because they want the racism.
Well, Morgan Wallen escaped that. He has reached escape velocity.
He's the man.
And
I admire him.
But it's I hate to bring it back to brother. But if you look at that guy and you look at the term that was used and the way it was used, there's no other way to take it than derogatory.
Yeah.
Right? But yet he'll go to the club and Diddy will be like, "Hey, my brother, what's good?" Like, he's still loved. And I mean, that was bad. That was like the worst way you could use an offensive term without naming any names. That's the worst way to go about it.
It's almost like Mel Gibson when he's on record of the voicemail saying, "I hope you get raped by a pack of that." He's still celebrated in Hollywood. No one else could. How do you say that and not get totally canceled? I mean,
some people just get a pass, man. I don't know why.
So bizarre.
Again, it's all about reaching escape velocity. And if you're anywhere in between, you're screwed, right? But if you get to escape velocity, there's no going back. It takes a whole lot of the system to bring you down, right? And even Russell Brand, which we talked about a little bit last week, he reached escape velocity for a minute. They're trying to bring it back down. Now, to his credit, he's fighting it. Whether it's true or not, I don't know. It's not for me to comment on. But he's on the cusp of he can escape this if he plays his cards right and does things correctly,
because
and keeps fighting back.
You also have to be very good. He's very eloquent.
Yes.
He's very savvy, and it's hard to get people. Like, they don't mess with South Park.
Yeah.
You don't mess with, nobody woke's going to go after South Park because they're going to get filleted. They get filleted. So those kind of people, they don't mess with. If you're too good, they don't mess with you because they don't want that.
Yeah, one of my biggest regrets is not saying anything, right? In my own particular life, in my situation, years back, one of my biggest regrets is just not saying anything. And it's because you've got attorneys and you've got people in your life and they go, just let it play out. And you're going, just for God's sake, just let me.
Just give my side.
Yeah. And they go, no, can't say anything. Can't say it. So their advice, and it's probably sound advice. They've, these what they do for a living, but God damn, it's tough to not say anything when you know all this fuckery's going on. You know what I mean?
It's a tough pill to swallow.
It is. And Russell Brand, to his credit, he's at least still talking. Like, whether he gets dropped from, these formats and forums that he's on, I don't know. But he's at least still trying to present himself and put himself out there. He hasn't just like shut down and become a recluse.
That's true. And what's up with all these platforms deplatforming someone who's just facing accusations?
Because the simple fact is, once you're accused of something like that, you're guilty until you're innocent. It's the direct opposite of the way it should be.
Yes.
It's a terrible, weird way to do it. I even look at locally, we've got Sheriff Grady Judd. Okay, which he's a great sheriff by all accounts, and Polk County is one fucked up place.
That's a rough job, man.
I mean, I couldn't
bad
imagine
place.
being the sheriff there. Or he's doing a terrible job because Polk County is one fucked up place. I mean, you're telling me every day there's some other shit like.
It's a big county, man.
He's
it's
like
a big county.
He's like the most strict sheriff on the planet, and even he still can't make a dent in this shit. Maybe he's terrible. I don't know. I'm not sure. The jury's out. But with that being said, every time something goes awry, he's the first one to be on TV and presenting his case and showing people's mugshots and showing this and showing that. And this. Well, what happened to the presumption of innocence before guilt? Now, I'm not saying that they're innocent, but isn't it a weird move for a sheriff in every situation to just get on there and blast these people and blast mugshots? And again, some situations they're 100% certainty.
Yeah.
But I have seen situations, I can't think of them off the top, but there has been situations where he'll present his side to the public to make himself look great and to make his sheriff's office look awesome. But that person technically is innocent.
And it's not really his job to decide if this person is,
right,
deserving of the gas chamber.
Yeah, there's a weird thing there, but the cops just love, they love wins.
They love wins.
You got to get wins.
That's why it's like, people think, it's all about wins. It's like you could be up on a murder charge and you could be innocent, but the guy who's trying to convict you, he don't give a shit if you did it or not. He needs a win to keep his job.
So yeah, it's wins and losses. It's much like a head coach of an NFL team.
It's a scary proposition.
It sure is.
Oh, I do have to give you my advice. My advice is, as we.
I'm so scared about this. I'm not even kidding. I'm nervous about this.
It's a small thing, but I don't know if most people know this. When you get older, your eyesight starts going. Most people, your eyesight starts going, and you look in the mirror. You think you look great. You think you look great, Matt. But the only way that if you look okay is if you get a magnifying mirror. Do you have a magnifying mirror?
Yes.
Okay, then you're okay.
No, I'm not okay because I don't look in it because this very reason.
But it's like I got a magnifying, and every day I look in it and say, oh, I got to get rid of that. I got to get rid of that hair that's growing out on my forehead. I got to there's hair on my ear. And because I was with like somebody who's like a little older than me recently, and I'm looking at them, and they got this hair in their nose, and it's like a forest coming out, and I was like, They don't know. They don't even know it's there because they look in the mirror with their 70-year-old eyes and they don't see it.
It's not the 50x magnifying.
You got to get the 50x so you can look at yourself and go, "Oh my God, what have I been subjecting people to?" And you just got to do some plucking. You just need to pluck when you're older.
I try.
It's not a feminine thing.
I try to do the nose clippers, and so I don't have hair out the ears yet.
My hair grows in out of my just my cartilage.
Just out of nowhere, just random.
You might want to check your ears.
I will have a random chest hair pop out that'll be like 9 inches long, just a random gray chest hair, And it doesn't like it's not popping back in the same spot. It'll just like randomly, like a Teen Wolf sort of beginning
rogue.
state.
It's a rogue hair.
Totally rogue. And I kind of like sometimes like to leave it there because I'm going, that's amazing, and I'll just kind of pluck it a little bit, right? Just
cool.
Strum on
They
it.
have a different texture. They are more wiry.
coarse.
They're coarse. Coarse.
Like
yeah.
somebody glued a piano wire to my chest.
That's Navy 2000 birthday bets, as well as Kevin, JK, and Sean Raz. $10 on PayPal.
I'm so excited that you spent your birthday doing the Mike and Matt show.
I wouldn't have it any other way.
And your advice is sound.
You gotta. What's up, Buzzy? You gotta check. You got hairs, things that grow.
Why don't you do the Botox thing? Why don't you do like
I could-
the hair laser thing? All that stuff.
I mean, my hair's out of control tonight, but a little frantic day. But I got the Ronald Reagan hair, and that's all I'm going with. It's like, I don't care if I look old. I would never do anything. I would never pay a dime to not make myself. I mean, I work out.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I can do. I can work. Look, I'm in better shape, I would imagine, than 80% of people my age. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to go to the plastic surgeon. I'm going to be fit.
Yeah, but I mean, the plastic surgeon is pretty cool too. Like, I haven't done it, but I haven't discounted it either.
I don't care.
Now,
Like Donna doesn't care if I'm getting wrinkles.
like the hair thing, right? Like, I'm not worried about that. People go, oh, yeah, you're losing your hair. I'm like, yeah, I am. Like, I don't care about that at all.
Yeah.
For some reason, I think I'm overpast.
Care about the wrinkles?
Man, some days I do. Some days, like, the forehead and stuff. But I also don't necessarily want rat poison shot into my face. So it's kind of a trade-off. And I think as
I thought it was Agent Orange.
better not be.
No, it's botulism.
Yeah,
It's botulism.
It's
yeah.
some sort of rat poison. But with that being said, I don't, is it high on my priority list? No. Am I going to get Botox or pay off my mortgage? I'm going to pay off my mortgage.
Yeah.
There's priorities where every time I go, maybe I could do this or do that. And then I go, nah, I got like, other things to worry about. That's not on my priority list. But if I was a millionaire, if I won the lotto, maybe I'd try to present a little better.
Well, for my OnlyFans, it only matters that I'm fit, and then I'm gonna wear like a bag over my head.
I think you are going to do OnlyFans because you've mentioned it a few times.
It's such easy money. Sexy, like the sexy grandpa niche has not been totally filled, I think. So you got to get in. You got to get in at the ground floor, Matt.
But that didn't come out right. Hold on, that didn't come out right. I was thinking about somebody else that was on OnlyFans and that maybe do a thing.
You see, I don't understand. Is there a market for unattractive people having sex on OnlyFans? Is it you can make a living if you're unattractive? You're like got a pot belly and getting up there in age. You're having sex. Is that people want to see?
It's a great question, and I don't have a good answer for it. I mean, I'm sure there's some outliers. There's some freaks out there that like that, I'm sure.
But isn't there 1,000 unattractive couples out there banging?
Way more.
100,000,
This is like the Seinfeld episode. Like, what percentage of the population do you think is attractive? He's like, maybe 2%. Maybe 2%.
Yeah, so there's thousands of unattractive couples. So how much money can you make?
I don't know.
Oh, I got do you know they still doing that? I don't keep up on it. I was like somebody that was
it was disgusting.
Somebody I was following on Twitter was way into trashing what they were doing.
Sketchy?
So Sketchy was doing it, and then he lost interest. Like,
even the biggest detractor was like, this is not good. This is gross.
I think I've solved it. Even their biggest. Oh, that's what happened. Yeah, see, yeah.
That's like, hilarious.
I can't do this anymore.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's funny. Dude, a couple years ago when we chatted and that dude Sketchy was doing those podcasts, and I told you before, I was in a Sketchy Press vortex because his stuff was hilarious. It captivated me. And then he reached out to me and he goes, hey man, you want to come on the show? And I'm like, I think I responded. I just told him no thanks. Even if he wanted to keep it nice and friendly, it's still not something I just wanted to partake in at the time. But goddamn, I appreciated that guy's work. Ludlow. I mean, the work of some of these trolls is really to be commended.
Yep.
I wouldn't know personally if I had trolls right now because I don't really check the stuff, which is probably better off, right? Because if there's,
it's best.
Yeah. So for my mental sanity, I'm just not gonna look. But the Sketchy Press stuff was great. Oh my god,
such a bizarre story. It's a bizarre,
Which part?
Everything. The Brent stuff. It's like, how do you you go from being on Stern, and okay, so you leave, but the world is full of Stern outcasts who are still making bank because they were on Stern, all those people are making, they still do appearances and stuff.
Wait, who's making bank though?
Whack Packers. Not bank, but they're making money. So there's still people still Whack Packers who make money, going, to appearances and stuff. And if you have the Stern rub, you should be able to maintain some kind of audience to at least make it. But his show was so bad that he had to ditch it after 8 months. It was just so bad. It was him and his wife would get drunk and just rant at people. I
remember. Yeah,
these guys. They're just.
I got sent a clip of them saying something about me, and she said something about me, but then I got the clip of her doing some sort of yoga workout, and I just reposted it.
God.
And I mean, to this day, I could pull up that clip and laugh and laugh.
I forgot about that one, but I saw it.
Oh my God, it's just terrible.
It's just god awful.
And to each their own. But here's my thing: just don't pretend to be better than that, because you're not, right? I don't know. I don't like when people pretend to be better.
And you know what happened?
Or pretend to be smarter.
You know what happened with that thing is, okay, so Brent, he comes back into town, he's fired, and he wants to have lunch with me and Donna, and he's like, hey, I want you to be a part of my channel. And I'm like, sure. You know me. I'm like,
that's the most passive aggressive answer. Next week when we sit down to do this, and I reach out to you and be like, hey, is Wednesday good? And you go, sure.
But I'm like, sure, I'll be on your,
Sure.
I've done shows with Brent. I know, I can make good content with almost anybody. He's fine. I said, sure, I'll help you out. And plus I'm thinking, well, he's got Stern listeners. It'll help me build my channel.
Get some rub, yeah.
And I guarantee this is what happened. He's like, he's when we're at lunch, he's like, I'm gonna do so much stuff on my channel. I'm beach volleyball tournaments, all this stuff.
Beach volleyball tournaments.
Don't ask me. And so he's doing all this stuff, and I guarantee you, he went to see the Fat Man, and the Fat Man said, "Whatever you do, don't put him on your stream," because he knows that I would have taken all those listeners and made them my listeners.
I see.
So that's what happened. And then a couple weeks ago, I said, hey, Brent.
So he didn't answer or call back, or did he text?
He kind of blew me off a couple times. Oh, yeah, we'll have you on. I'm like,
well, have you on? Yeah, I thought you were going to be a part of it.
And I saw 25 Cent on there. I was like, you having 25 Cent on? Not me. I get what's going on. I got the kibosh.
Interesting.
I got by the Fat Man, because then he was on the Fat Man show promoting his thing before it went kabunk, and he had to,
do porn,
amateur porn with strangers. It seems like an odd way to conduct a marriage, but I have no idea if it's still going on. It's like, can you make I don't know. To me, I love doing. We're doing this. I love doing this. But to me, having sex with strangers once a week for the rest of my life would be, oh my God. Oh my God. Some guy's coming over to screw my wife again?
Yeah. Oh. And do you want it just to get over with, or do you actually want good angles to where you become a director and you're like, cut, can we do that again? Can we reposition? Let me reposition the camera. Do you get that in depth, or are you just filming and going, just let it be over. Just please.
That's
just let me be
that's
over
what I'm thinking. I mean, look, I think if you're making like $750,000 a year, you're like, I need another angle. Like, no, but I think
this angle.
that yeah. But I think now you're just like, yeah,
You're numb to it.
yeah. I don't think it's fun.
Oh, it can't. It's got to be.
What a bizarre story.
It's
what a bizarre story.
It's so bizarre. There's a lot to unpack there. I mean, there's a lot to unpack with all of us, I'm sure, right? But that particular case is intriguing.
But Brent Hatley's talent was he was able to worm himself into almost any situation. He totally wormed himself into the Bubba Show. He was the producer for Ron
Diaz.
Ron Diaz in the same building, and he totally wormed himself into becoming the producer to the Bubba Love Sponge Show.
Yeah, he continually talked trash about Cowhead like nonstop until, I firmly believe it did weigh in on the decision that eventually happened to make that change. And all of a sudden he's on the show and everybody's like, that guy? What happened? That really? Okay, all right.
I think I did a Clem's Creek on that. Cowhead is replaced by a laughing maniac. And I had Brent come in there and laugh.
It really was a strange set of circumstances.
And then he wormed himself into the Howard Stern Show.
I would love to see that guy's resume. I mean, a real resume, not the one he puts out, like a real, actual, truth resume, and one of giving. You know how you have to give references,
yeah,
right? Real references. People like you that know it, like a real reference, right? Like, where does that sit? Because I mean, he could put Howard Stern on his next resume as a reference, but nobody's going to call Howard.
No,
you just kind of trust it.
So I think I don't even know what happened with that situation. I imagine people just got sick of that, sick of that, and was like, "Got to get him out of here. He's too much."
Yeah. I don't know either. I would have Sketchy Press might know. You know what I mean? Like he probably knows better than both of us. I don't know. I know that Lady Marcy Turk took over up there on the Stern Channel, and it was a whole contentious thing between a lot of the staffers, and obviously Howard seems to have changed. I mean, if you look at the news this past week and the
night and day,
the direction, it's odd.
It's unseemly. See, I see, like,
as a radio guy, it's odd.
You know me. I'm not a conformist, and I'm not. I'm just a dick. So I was like sending some stuff to Howard and his writers. And they were like saying, "Oh, we could use this," or something. They act like they would use some of my stuff. And then I could start hearing him with all this wokeism and all this leftism and all. It's like Howard Stern was anti-establishment. Does no one know what anti-establishment? The left, that was their core belief, is anti-establishment. And now the left has become the establishment. And Howard Stern has become the establishment, and it disgusts me. So I would just send him songs, Trash and Stern, because that's how I roll. I took that
for your consideration. Attach.
I took that bridge and burned it and said, "Fuck it. I don't want to work for somebody like that."
Yeah.
You just you how much money do you have to have where you can't be true to yourself? I'm true to myself, and I don't have near the money Howard Stern does, and I would rather stay true to myself than sell out. I would sell out, but I would sell out based on necessity.
Yeah.
Like if I was making $500,000 a year and somebody offered me $1 million to sell out, I'd say, "No, man, I got $500,000 a year. I don't need fucking $1 million. You can shove it up your ass."
Mm-hmm.
But he's someone with his wealth who can just completely sell his soul out. It disgusts me.
Or does he firmly believe it? Again, it goes back to that thing.
He's a phony. He's a big phony.
I would tell you the two radio personalities that I admire, and I haven't listened in a while, and I know. One would be Jason Ellis. Okay, Jason Ellis, that dude is talented. He was funny.
He was
on point. he was hilarious. And from my understanding, he was let go by SiriusXM a few years ago, and he's doing his thing on YouTube. And I wish that dude nothing but the best, right? But Jason Ellis, to me, was a premier talent, one that almost prolific in some regard, right? Like there was a lot there that could be groomed and let that guy shine, right? And the other one, and I think he's still on SiriusXM, who I think might be my favorite of all time, and I think I've only met him one time, Rude Jude. Rude Jude is the funniest motherfucker you will ever hear. He's just he's just a white dude. He's like,
I don't think I've never heard anything that he's done.
Look him up on YouTube. Like these are the sleepers, and he's on Shade 45, right? So he's on the hip hop channel up there and stuff like that. But he's been on there for a number of years. But like there's certain guys like that they don't have it's not the cachet of Howard Stern, right? It's not the name value. But I'll tell you what, if you listen to them, you're gonna sure as shit enjoy them. Like you will enjoy their thoughts. You will enjoy what they're rapping into. You will enjoy they'll envelop you in this persona, which is cool. Like it doesn't always have to be this. Like it has to be these top 3 personalities. It's got to be Stern or I don't even know what the whatever it would be
now.
Right?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what Dave Ramsey,
Charlemagne the God.
There's certain, but like there's a whole other level of talent that's not bubbled up to the top. It's not Stern level, but it's really good, funny stuff.
Is Jason Ellis, is he doing well now?
I have no clue. I know he's
doing a YouTube deal.
I think he's doing a Patreon thing. I could be incorrect. I'm not sure. But, I've thought many times about that guy because if I was a local market, right, and when he got let go from SiriusXM, if I was a local market, I would have hired that guy in a heartbeat, put him in mornings, said, hey, look, dude, do whatever you want. Don't be as dirty. Let's just not cuss. Don't be as dirty. But you do good interviews. You got great thought process.
And people love Australian accents.
People love Australian accents. Let it eat.
I don't think there's anybody thinking that with that mentality.
Agreed.
I think it's a complete, like in the entertainment radio, especially the radio industry, they're all just like, they don't want any controversy at all.
Yeah.
It's disgusting. It's disgusting. It enrages me. Like the guys like Lenny Bruce back in the day, George Carlin, people push the envelope. That's what a society has. They have people who push the envelope and they push it until they're told don't push anymore. Then they stop, and then they come back and try to push it some more.
Yeah,
it's just the way it's supposed to be, and it's not that way anymore. That's a bad sign, I think, for a country.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I mean, if I was L.A., a station in L.A., I would have hired Ellis for mornings. Just done. Get in there, do your thing, and let's hope for the best, right? And then Rude Jude, same thing. I would hire that guy for mornings on a hip hop station or afternoons, like legit. Roll him out, syndicate him. He's that good. I don't know if he has interest in it. I'm sure he's got a cushy gig at Shade 45.
Yeah.
But again, there's levels of talent there that are really cool. And then you go back to guys like Brent starting his channel and having the Stern rub and just
because you don't have the sauce, you don't have the
Right.
secret sauce.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know. I'm getting off on a little radio tangent. I got little inner thoughts going on.
We didn't even get to.
Oh, no.
We didn't get to Usher being the part of the Super Bowl or Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift.
Well, Usher, he's got herpes.
Does he?
Allegedly. God damn, it would have been.
I mean, look, I don't like. Usher's fine. That's like an iconic song. Yeah. But I don't know if you can go deep into the Usher and get all excited about Usher.
He's got more hits than you think. That's the thing. It's the same thing with
Smack That.
Hold on. Oh wait, you can't play the songs on here. Sorry.
No, it's a real fucking downer.
He's got a lot.
Let
of
It
hits.
Burn. Is they gonna play that at the Super Bowl?
Okay,
Let
then he's got a ton of collaborations. He can
Collab.
have a ton of guest stars, and it's only like a 20-minute show.
Yeah.
I mean, let it go. It's not the end of the world.
I really don't care. As long as it's not Ice Spice, I'm happy with that.
I know, and everybody goes. There was all the old white guys always do the same thing. There's never any rock bands. What happened to the rock? It's like, yeah, because there's. Why would you? Like, I think the last rock band I saw play a halftime was like Creed. And now Creed gets made fun of every year for their halftime performance when he was flying across the stadium.
He was insane.
Yeah, that too.
Bruce Springsteen, not too long ago, was it?
I don't
Could
know.
have been. Could have been a long time ago. I can't remember.
I went to the Super Bowl here in Tampa years ago, and it was Aerosmith, which was a good show. But, I mean, rock band, like, what's the majority of folks want to see now? Probably not a rock band.
Probably not.
Probably
no,
not.
rock is dead. Like, you're talking new. Who's the Red Hot Chili Peppers would be the newest band, and they're in their 60s.
Disturbed? You know, what's he going to go out there and go, ah! You know, and do that whole thing again? Like,
It's like there's a couple of relatively old bands like Disturbed and Godsmack who are trying to keep it going, but they're like, no, we just can't do it.
I mean, Shinedown's great, but is Shinedown really a contender to play the halftime at the Super Bowl? No. Like, there's not a lot of talent out there that has the catalog.
It's true. Man, I watched the MTV Video Music Awards, me and Donna, and aside from it being half Latin, which, you know, I don't really care about music that I can't understand, it was all rap, and rap music does not translate live. Mm-hmm. You know, if you like rap, fine, and you could say some rap's great. Excuse me, but live it's dog shit. I saw like Ludacris after the Rays game, and it's just like,
Yeah.
you're lip syncing. All you got's a guy. You don't have a band, you know.
Make some noise!
You got one guy doing this, and you got you talking fast, and it's like, you know, it's like, there used to be a drummer, he's a drummer, and a cage, and there's like the guitar.
The Latin music cracks me up because you remember the old organs. If you were a kid, you'd purchase that organ from the store and have the sample on there.
Yeah,
and just the basic beat, and that's every Latin song out there. And people will go, because I'll go, here it goes again, and they'll go, no, that's not it. I go, listen, it's this. It's that whole.
What was that? I like that one.
Demo A on the Casio.
Demo A on the
keyboard,
Casio. I probably have it in there.
and it would just go. You could do that to every Latin pop song out there. It's the same thing.
Excuse me, Matthew. That's now labeled Afro beats.
Oh,
You get a specific award. Another banger. Yeah, with Bad Bunny and.
Bad Bunny can wrestle.
What's the world coming to with the Bad Bunny?
Bad Bunny can wrestle. Did you see him
Can
wrestle?
he?
Oh my God, he did. You know, they do like a superstar, like a guest spot from some musician, usually for WrestleMania every year. They'll bring on somebody. They brought in Bad Bunny, dude. That guy was doing very well to the point where I'd heard a rumor that he'd moved to Orlando. And
went to wrestling school.
Literally took it so seriously. Like he rented a house up there and was training for like 6 months because he wasn't about to make himself look bad. And he's genuinely, I guess, a fan of the sport or whatever. But his moves, he actually pulled them off. Now he looked tiny because of the big guys around him, but he did well. I was pleasantly surprised.
I think Logan Paul did that too, and I've seen some of the highlights of Logan Paul, and I don't particularly care for Logan Paul, but I was like, that guy learned. He did some shit. You know, he learned some. I mean, doing these flips off the top rope and shit, and that can't be easy.
That double midair clothesline.
It's got to take a lot of practice.
Oh my God!
And I refereed a match, stupid fake wrestling match, when I was at the Power Pig between Jason Dixon and the Lobster Boy, who was a guy with no legs and the lobster claw hands.
Just when you think your career couldn't get worse, we want you to ref a match between Jason Dixon and the Lobster Boy.
Yep. And so I go we go to practice, and I'm going to go in the ring, so I'm like, well, let me feel this ring out. Let me go against the ropes. And, I go, like, I'm going to do one of those bouncy things. And it's like, those things are steel cables. And I was just like, and I didn't go anywhere. And then, somebody threw me on the ground because it's like the referee's going to get knocked out. I was like going on freaking concrete. I was like, how do these guys do it? It's no joke.
Who won the match? Was it
Dixon
Dixon or Lobster Boy?
Oh my God, I don't even remember. It was I repressed it. I repressed that part of my life, Matt.
I remember Lobster Boy coming into the studio which was about the weirdest thing I've ever seen because I was, younger
Yeah.
and I just heard about Lobster Boy. But I remember we had these chairs that were high up, so it wasn't like these. It was like they were high
higher
up.
chair.
Right? I don't know what to say
Because the studio,
the
was
console
like
was
to
up
that,
high.
like to that.
So he comes in and he lobstered his way up to that chair. I was going to offer to help him. Hey, let me, you need help getting in the chair.
Yeah.
Man, that dude was self-sufficient. He
Yeah.
lobstered his way up there, sat in the chair, grabbed the microphone, got all set up, had his headphones. He was on point, and he was strong as shit because that's no easy feat. I mean, at least
I guess when you've been doing it since you were 2 years old, it's not a big deal.
lobster. Did he kill his father?
Oh, see, I can't. No,
Allegedly.
is that what it was? See, I can't.
Or somebody else killed
He
his
was,
father?
like they
Lobster Man died, right?
Lobster Man, who was the same way with no legs and a lobster claws, and he was like they had like video of him going, "I'm gonna kill you guys," like a real asshole or something.
Which, if you're the girl who's sleeping with Lobster Man, it's like, I mean, what are the... Look. Yeah. What are the chances the kid's going to come out the same? Exactly 100%, apparently.
100%.
That had to be
It's
a
like,
shock.
Like if you're like Mrs. Lobster Man, like when Lobster Man comes, like he's like, we're gonna have some foreplay here. Like is that a turn on? Like is that like? Do you get used to it? I guess.
I mean, she had to be a carny, right? Like,
she had the world's biggest pubic hair or something. There was something wrong with her. Something
biggest, just one giant
one.
pube.
Oh. There's another story. We can't even end the show tonight. We just can't stop the show. So I'm working for MJ Kelly, and it's a Lobster Boy thing. It's a big to do. And I came out with a song to John Denver's "Thank God I'm a Country Boy." Thank God I'm a Lobster Boy, and people loved it. And the AM AM 970 are like, we got to hear the Lobster Boy, and MJ couldn't take it. And the next day he comes in with Lobster Boy's greatest hits. He did his own bit. Oh. It's like he's such an egomaniac. He couldn't stand that I had done something because he was always, everything was his idea. And, I want you to do, MJ Kelly, I want you to do this and he'd laugh at his own jokes. Donna could avow, she'd go, it's MJ, and hand me the phone. This is back when we didn't have cell phones. Yeah. And I'd be like, hey, and I've got an idea for a bit. Blah, 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 blah. And I'd just be like looking at Donna going, I fucking hate this guy. Fucking hate him.
But were any of his ideas ever?
No, never
Okay.
good. Never good.
Oh, no.
Like, Bubba would give me ideas, and I would say, like, it's a 50% hit rate. He had plenty of good ideas, plenty of bad ones, but,
Yeah.
MJ never had it. First time I met that guy, we had to go to Gasparilla with him when he was coming down to, they first hired him, and I was just like, oh, I hate this guy. You think you're anticipating, you're nervous. Here's the new morning guy. Here's your new boss, and you're like,
yeah, because you want to get along.
Yeah, I want to do a good.
You want to have that chemistry.
And they offered at the time, they offered me $40,000, which was 1995.
Okay, that's got to be what? That's got to be the equivalent of 80 now.
Probably 70 or 80.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, I'm going to Iowa to do my own thing because I gotta get out of here. I was making $19,000. They offered me $40,000. I was gonna double my salary, and I was like, nah. I never even considered it. I was like,
dude,
I hate this guy.
My first gig, I got paid when I finally got paid, it was $17,000, and then they came up to me, a while later, and they go, all right, we want you to do overnights also. So do overnights and mornings. We're going to give you $10,000 more. So I was making
a tough gig, man.
I was making $27,000, and I was going to work at about 11 o'clock at night, leaving work about 2 in the afternoon.
It's brutal.
After all the prep.
Brutal.
It was awful. And then I'd go home and sleep and wake up and do it all over again. And then the weekend I'd do club gigs and eat ecstasy and then do pill roulette and then do it all over again. But I was like, I have to make that money. I can't not turn down the $10,000 a year.
And even that sucks ass. That shift and that bullshit sucks. but also it's way better than working for a living. It is. You know it is.
I was working at that time. Just overnights.
And that's a
just
lot
are
of.
terrible.
I've done the overnights going into mornings before, and it blows.
And I had to babysit a couple stations. So like I would babysit the classic rock station next door also. So I'm on air at the rock station. I'm babysitting the classic rock. And whenever that one went off air, I didn't know anything about classic rock at the time. All I knew is it was CDs and you had to pop them in and you know, hit. And I'm going, okay. Only thing I know is Steve Miller Band, The Joker. So that would be my go-to. And I'd pop that thing in. I was like, all right, I got 6.5 minutes to figure out what is going to happen, what's offline, how do we get the station back on air? Like, you know, but there was 2 records. It was like Steve Miller Band, The Joker, and then, oh gosh, there was some other like Eagles track or some, like there was 3 go-to songs eventually that I had.
You can't go wrong with the Joker or the Eagles. People are going to be happy.
It was great. It was, yeah.
Actually, just Dead Air is better. If ever I hear Dead Air on the,
it keeps you tuned in.
I'm like, I'm gonna keep tuning back in. Did they fix the dead air?
Yeah.
What are these jackasses doing?
It does. It keeps you tuned in. That's like us when we go take a break here, then a bit runs out.
You know,
we're like,
a
little dead air.
I don't even worry about it.
I'm not worried
It's
about
like,
it.
you know how hard it is to pretend you're running a radio station on one computer? Do you know how fucking, because if you want to full screen something, let everybody see the full screen. You can't do anything on this computer.
Oh, we got to get you another monitor.
I do. Yeah. Look, I just learned this one monitor, Matt.
I know. I get it. I get it.
I got to pull the plug. I got to pee.
All right.
I'd like to go all night long and talk about.
It's your birthday.
Talk
You got
about
stuff to do.
Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift and other things, but we've given you too much as it is. It's too much.
Happy birthday.
Thank you very much, Matt, and thank you for coming on my birthday.
Oh,
And
God.
we will see you again next week. God, this show it's so fucking good, man.
Well, when I text you next week and ask if you want to do it again, if you say sure, I'll know.
Sure.
Sure.
I'm always up to help. I'm a good guy. Sure. All right, we'll see you for sure next week.
Later.